If only you could see me now. If only you could tell me why you disappeared, you made me cry. So don't come back. Oh, you never took the time to say. You didn't think you should explain. Like I don't care, you're kidding me. Don't do that. Oh, I don't tell anybody, no. That I'm feeling so miserable. All my friends tell me to be strong. If they're right, why does it feel so wrong? Just because you hurt doesn't mean my heart don't want you. Footprints in the dirt, following your every move. I tried to be the best for you when you broke my heart in two. Oh, saying you didn't know, but I know you do. It's a fact. Oh, I don't tell anybody, no. That I'm feeling so miserable. All my friends tell me to be strong. If they're right, why does it feel so wrong? Just because you hurt doesn't mean my heart don't want you. Footprints in the dirt, following your every move. Just because you hurt doesn't mean my heart don't want you. Footprints in the dirt, following your every move, even though it hurts. Hey baby, do you believe me when I say I miss you so? It seems like your mind is elsewhere. Whenever we're on the phone, always on the go, like you got a place to be, never on your own. Something you're not telling me, yeah. I believe it's true. You're all for someone new. I've never felt this stupid, thinking I'm enough for you. Tell me, is she cute? Is she my substitute? I've never felt so certain that I've had enough for you. Hey cheater, do you feel better now that you've broken my trust? Oh, boy, do you even remember that love is more than just lust? Always on the go, like you got a place to be, never on your own. Something you're not telling me, yeah. I believe it's true. You're all for someone new. I've never felt this stupid, thinking I'm enough for you. Tell me, is she cute? Is she my substitute? I've never felt so certain that I've had enough for you. I've had enough of you. You're just too much. I'm way too good for you. You're just a bluff. I'm so fed up with you. It's bad enough that I'm way too good for you. substitute. I've never felt so certain that I've had enough for you. waves sway. 4 a.m. as I think, oh, Stockholm love. Sometimes I picture how life had been in Paris or New York or Shanghai. But you know what they say, east or west, our home is best. Warming rays, golden sunlight as the city wakes. Oh, my love for you will never fade away. 5 a.m. as I sing, oh, Stockholm love. Stockholm love. Sometimes I picture how life had been in Paris or New York or Shanghai. But you know what they say, east or west, our home is best. Warming rays, golden sunlight as the city wakes. Oh, my love for you will never fade away. 5 a.m. as I sing, oh, Stockholm love. Stockholm love.
In this moment,
Yes.
I cannot say what's wrong or right.
No.
It's not hard to fool me,
No.
'cause I'm addicted to the good life.
Yes.
Yeah, lead the way, I follow. No need to say
No.
where we are heading now, babe. I follow to the edge of it all, to the edge of it all. So tell your good lies, 'cause I'll buy no matter what. Yeah, susceptible now before the moment flies. Ooh, so tell your good lies, 'cause I'll buy no matter what. Ooh, susceptible now before the moment flies. It's not a problem,
No.
'cause I know what I'm getting into. too.
Yes.
Yeah, and nothing can stop me.
No.
'Cause I'm addicted to what you and I realize. Lead the way, I follow. No need to say where we are heading now, babe. I follow to the edge of it all.
You know I have a shoulder on you, you know? And it must pop, pop, pop!
Good night, 'cause I'll find no matter what, yeah. Susceptible now, before the moment flies, before it flies. So tell you good night, 'cause I'll find no matter what. Susceptible now, before the moment flies. Yeah.
No problem. Hi. We ain't said nothing. Get the likes up. That's all I basically said. Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. So, be like, man, why don't you get an engineer? Please. I got shit to do. I got stuff to do. So here we go. All right. So, how's everybody doing this evening? Friday night show. We're going to change the background lighting. Today we're going to go with a little Van Gogh. The lighting today, the theme is Van Gogh. And some of the lights, the postman, mulberry trees, starry night, felt hat, sunflowers, bandaged ear, cafe, terrace, White House. Anyway, guys, you try to keep the show up and popping and fresh as much as possible. But where are my manners? I am so sorry. Shirley, how you doing, girl? Did you go to the grocery store today?
I got beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, lamb, rams, hogs, dogs, chicken, turkeys, rabbits. You name it!
You got all that at the grocery store? How'd you know what to get at the grocery store? How you know what you're gonna prepare? You do it out of memory? Why? You don't have a cookbook?
I don't need a cookbook.
But how you get to be so big, Shirley?
I don't need a cookbook.
Okay, well, no problem. Go ahead. So Thanksgiving is at your house, right? Thanksgiving is at your house. See, the funny thing is Shirley, when we go to Shirley's house for Thanksgiving, it's going to be Shirley, it's going to be Brenda, it's going to be Karen, and then it's going to be Big Mama, and then all they kids and nary a husband. Why? Because apparently it's perfectly acceptable for women today to start just making babies without husbands and talking about God bless it and all this other kind of stuff. You know, when my mother's generation became single mothers, at least they still had some shame about it. They knew it wasn't the right thing to do. But today you got women who are proudly declaring to be single mothers and talking about God and unions and everything else. Anyway, let me get off this subject. Let's get off of it. Candle of the evening, Cidra 11. It's a fireplace kind of scent, a deep, smoky kind of scent. And because November is incense month, I'm going to give you some great incense fragrances, starting with this. Armani Privé Bois d'Encens. My French is terrible. I'm still trying to get somebody to teach me French. Bois d'Encens. This smells like a Catholic church from what I've heard. And this one you can get almost any place that sells Armani Privé. This is old school incense. But this one right here, Armani Privé incense satin, this is amber, satin, and incense. This is one of my secret weapon fragrances, especially when the temperature drops below 60 degrees outside. These two are basically all the incense an incense lover could ever need. But I'm gonna tell you something. When I announce these, don't get mad at me because they're in limited supply. But Inicio has fragrances called Magnetic Blends. Magnetic Blend 7, I always talk about that one. I wear Magnetic Blend 7. It is a great blending fragrance. It's a musk and pheromone. It's not even fair. But this one is Magnetic Blend 8. It is frankincense, musk, and pheromones. And why am I talking? Why do I? Oh, God damn, that's good. All these are good. And I'm going to be honest, man. Your Godfather is, notice there's a theme kind of going. Because I like rose, amber, and oud. And then my secondary notes are incense, iris, tonka, and patchouli. What does that mean? Hey, Luke Hazley, how are you doing? I have always liked old, deep, rich fragrances. And when I was a kid, I used to love history and reading. I think really in another life, I was either Chinese, Italian, but because I love style and fashion, but from perfumery, my heart is firmly in the Middle East. Firmly in the Middle East. I love sexy ouds. Why is this important? Because you see the title today, it says more or less. More or less. Now, guys, we got to keep the likes up. Let's get them up a little bit higher. More or less. And I was going to talk about several things today, but I got to ask the question because as I've been talking to so many women who claim they deserve this or they deserve that, and I'm not really much arguing with what somebody feels like they deserve. But ladies, if I asked you to date what you rate, could you do it? How many of you guys watched my Instagram yesterday or Tuesday? If you watch my Instagram yesterday or Tuesday, you will see so many women who want these high value men. And of the 4 or 5 of them, four out of the 5 were very much overweight. So now I'm putting together a new scale. I'm taking your weight divided by your inches and I'm adjusting it. So let's say like the young lady I had the other day. Young lady I had the other day, she said she's 215 pounds and 5'4". 5'4" is 64 inches. So here's the scale. Divide 215 pounds by 64 inches. That's 3.35. Okay? And then I want you to multiply it times the average man's height, 5'10". That is 70 inches. This is what image consultants do. So, ma'am, like I was telling you yesterday, if you were a man, height, weight adjusted, that would be a 5'10" man that is 235 pounds. No matter how you slice it, it's too much. So let me give you ladies a benchmark. 120 pounds divided by 64 inches, 1.875. 1.875. But because I'm your godfather and I love you and we get into Christmas, I'm going to give you 2. I'm going to give you a factor of 2. Ladies, mark it in your book, set it and forget it. If you want to be considered for the kind of men you want, because over here, I'm talking to the men who want to be in the top 20% of men. I got heart for all men, but I'm talking about the men in the top 20% who want to be in there, who are there and who want to continue to climb. And men in this category, do they want more or do they want less? Well, it's obvious that they want more. They want more money, they want more power, they want more influence, they want more gravitas. And you need to understand, as a woman, are you more or are you less? So let's start out with fit, feminine, friendly. Okay? The three things any woman can control: fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, submissive, childless. If you have a child, like it or not, ma'am, to the next man, you are less. To the next man, you are less. Yeah, a lot of ladies are linebacker size. And the one thing we can start off with is weight. If you are 5'4" or 64 inches, let me be liberal. And let's say you work out and you got it where men like myself like it. And your legs, because I love legs. I love women's legs, and got a nice butt. I don't like big old crazy hips with a nice butt. All right, 64 times 2. That's 128 pounds. We'll take that. So whatever you are, ladies, take your weight, take your height, and multiply it times 2. And that's where you need to be. I want you to go back into your family photo album. And I want you to go back to see when Big Daddy and Papa and them, these dudes looked like they came straight out the cotton field. They look like some old Negro spirituals. But have you ever noticed how pretty their wives were? How attractive? Because back then, women understood that they were supposed to be the pretty ones of the group, and the men were supposed to be the workers. But today, we got average women who want above average men. And my question is, why? Why do average women get high value men? Why? Well, a big part of the reason why, gentlemen, ladies, is because many of them, don't really understand their buying power. So let's put it into something that everybody can understand: shopping. All ladies understand shopping. Whether you shop a little or shop a lot, women understand shopping, buying power. Like I said on Wednesday, you know, if you went to school for a communications degree and you are a 5 or a 6 on the attractiveness scale and you are 160 pounds, that puts you at about average. That puts you at Macy's, JCPenney's, Target, Walmart, Ross, TJ Maxx, Gap, Banana Republic. Ladies, most women, if they are healthy weight and average looking, can afford to shop, can afford to get a man from Target or Walmart or any of these stores. Macy's is as good as it gets for a lot of you ladies. But many women today got Target looks, not even Target, Walmart, because you know there are certain kind of Walmarts, not neighborhood Walmart, that Walmart, the one you don't want to go to after 6 o'clock. Walmart looks, Walmart bodies, kids from other men, and you got the nerve to be looking for men at Valentino or Tiffany or Dolce & Gabbana or Dior. I'm not talking about Dior. Macy's don't, only place Macy's carries Dior is in the fragrance section. The only place Macy's carries any of the things I just talked about is in the fragrance section. Macy's does not carry the clothing Dior. They carry the beauty. So a lot of you ladies are very much, Macy's is your top end, but you can see Dior and you got the nerve to think, oh, I want a man on a Dior level. Because, Dior or Chanel. Chanel got that Gabrielle for women. And then Chanel got Blue de Chanel for men. But what you don't realize is Chanel's got a whole different kind of line called Chanel Les Exclusives. Hold on. Some people like people say they love to hear my heels clacking on the ground. That shows you I get dressed. I don't wear pajamas and sneakers in my shows. I'm a professional. All right. Visual aid time. Chanel. Blue de Chanel. High-end designer fragrance. Carried at Macy's. Dillard's. And all those things. Okay? This is what but you can't get this at Target. Can't get it at JCPenney's. You can get it at Macy's and Sephora. Stuff that's the only place in the mall you can find Chanel. But you can't find Chanel purses, Chanel bags, Chanel clothing. They sell Chanel beauty. This is the Chanel you're used to. Ladies, Gabrielle, men, you're used to this Chanel. And it's good. It's great. I wore that this morning. But what I need you to understand is there's an entirely different line of fragrances out there. The exclusive line. Only available at the boutiques. This has been around just as long as this has been around. But this is for a certain clientele. Many women and men did not even know this line existed. Coromandel. You can't even go to Neiman Marcus to get that. You can't even go to Saks to get that. You got to go to the Chanel. You can't even go to Saks or Saks. You can't even go to Chanel inside of Saks or Chanel inside of Neiman Marcus to get that. It's only available at the boutique because it's exclusive. And there's something even more exclusive than that. Chanel Coromandel Pure Parfum, perfume oil. Yeah. The memories. So if you didn't even know these are on the market, how you gonna grow up this? How you gonna grow up? You didn't even grow up with this. You grew up with Nautica Voyage. You grew up with Burberry Touch. You grew up with Dracar Noir and stuff that you can get, at TJ Maxx. And nothing wrong with those fragrances. But when you became an adult, you chose your lot in life. You chose your degree path. You chose whatever. And you choose, ladies, you can't choose your face, but you can choose your body. And you chose a body that's not even at the Chanel level. You chose a body that's basically, low end stuff. Victoria's Secret body spray. Oh my God, I'm going to hell. So what am I trying to show you? That this is the highest end for average. But over here, this stuff is $350 a bottle. And that's for, how big is this bottle? This bottle is 200 ml. 200 ml, $350 MSRP. This right here, this is 15 ml. 15. So you roughly got almost 9 of these are in this bottle. This is $250, $350. That's $240. We're talking about levels here, people. So average women are trying to get men who are over here. But you got buying power right here. Oh, and I can do the example in any kind of way, like Dior. You like Dior Hypnotic, Dior Poison, all these other Dior fragrances. Dior makes some great designer fragrances. Then they have fragrances like this one, Mitza. You can't even get this in the United States. In order to get this, you have to either have connections or go all the way over to Paris. Basically, what I'm saying is, I know good and damn well, just like you know, ladies, that in every part of life, there are things that are outside of your budget. There are things that you cannot afford. And just because you can go to the store and see certain brands doesn't mean that you have the disposable income. So let's ask yourself a question. The kind of men that you want, do they cost more or less? They cost more because they want more. And ladies, where are you?
Did I not make that so clear?
Try this again. Average. Certain things are good in average. Bleu de Chanel. Gentlemen, from your godfather to you, I still wear these fragrances because they are fucking incredible. Dior Bleu de Chanel. Dior Sauvage. This is the latest one. Sauvage Elixir. Must have. And even something like this. Valentino Uomo Intense. Smells like Dior Homme Intense. Probably one of the sexiest date night fragrances ever made. And a life is good over here. But so many women have seen this kind of stuff in the mall or on Instagram or something, and you didn't even know it existed. But now that it exists, now that you know it exists, you think you deserve it. So let me ask you a question. Big Henny mixtape. Shout out to A3. So ladies, let's come up with this. What can you afford to buy at the men's store? If I put all men in a store, you know when you go to the store, what come on, fellas. You know when you go to the store, ladies, you know when you go to the store, there are some stores you just ain't got no business going into. I've always known that. When I was a kid, you know you didn't go into certain stores. They ain't even worried about it, okay? Ladies, your height, your weight, your dress size is an indication of what kind of man you can get out the store. So are your looks. This is why I don't allow women to use 7, because most women men are more practical. We are more realistic. Women are more, they want to give themselves the best option. They feel like even though they're average, that you only live once, so you should shoot for the moon, even though they can't afford it. No, you ladies need to go back to what your mama, your grandmothers, and before then understood. You get the man that matches you. Height, weight, dress size, your looks. If you are a 5 or a 6, that puts you average. Bleu de Chanel, high as you get. Dior Sauvage, as high as you get. $80 to $100 for a bottle of fragrance every now and then. Every now and then. You don't talk about going to spend no $600 on a bottle of fragrance. What the hell? I could get a whole fragrance collection for one bottle. So height, weight, dress size, looks. Ladies, that is the basis of your buying power at the men's store. You know what? But you know what? What starts taking stuff away from your value? If you weigh too much, you gotta take money away. If you too old, you gotta take money away. If you got kids, you gotta take money away. If you are masculine, you lack femininity, basically, you are in life, women, your job is to maintain your value until you can get to the man's store and take what you got saved up and make a purchase. Life gives you all your eggs up front, and everybody in the world tells you that thing in between your legs is valuable, and men worldwide want it. Hold on to it. Don't use it, because you want to be able to get the kind of man you want from the store. And if there's anything, and if you use it, it costs you money. And one of the surest ways you've used it is having a human being behind you. Like it or not, ladies, your children are valuable to you, but in the man's store, they cost you money. So what can you afford? Well, ladies, if you want to get men on this level, this is the level for women who are naturally 8s, 9s, and 10s. These are those women. The women who are naturally 8s, 9s, and 10s can get men on this level because they've got enough value to go to the man's store, and they can go up to it, and the man's store will own. It's kind of like, imagine going to how about this? Remember going to the old candy machine? Remember I go to the candy machine when you was a kid? And you wanted, and your favorite, and at the top they had this, and at the bottom they had this. But you ever notice that all the way down over here was the more expensive stuff? You got 50 cents, 2 quarters, but everything that you ladies want in this machine costs $2. You can't make the machine dispense your item without paying. In the men's store, you can't even go to that department. You can't take it off the rack. You can't try it on. And that's part of the problem. So many of you guys have been letting women take you off the rack, try you on, hooking up with them. You've confused the market. So gentlemen, we have something to bear in this too. Stop banging Shirley. Gentlemen, stop dealing with women who aren't on your level. Because women mistake the fact that somebody would deal with them, hook up with them, as that it's their new price. No, not how that works. Not how that works. Ladies, I'm here to level set you. That time in college when you hooked up with that Chad, the Kevin and Sales, that Keith Henry, that was just, he was drunk, and everybody in his phone was busy that night. You know what you got, ladies. Ladies, you know what you got. You got the late night equivalent of the You got the hey big head one night on the college campus from the starting quarterback, and you thought you could be the homecoming queen. No, ma'am. What can you get out of the man store? That's the question, ladies. As a value, can you date what you rate? And most women today want to date aspirationally. But are you mating but you cannot mate aspirationally. You cannot marry up. Now, I don't want to say you cannot marry up. You cannot. High value men of value do not wife below average women. They don't wife average women, if you want to be honest. And if they do, and for everybody that says, well, I thought you said that there was a chance. If they got an average woman, they got an average woman when they were young. And a woman put in her time. Why is this so important? It's important because I am hearing far too many women talk about you only live once. And you might as well swing for the fences and da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, but here's the problem. The guys in the top 20%, by the time they're calling you, I want you to understand Shirley, Brenda, Karen, by the time Keith, Brad, Lee, Ahmed, and Enrique are calling you, all of the 8s, 9s were already busy. The adjustable 6s got back with their boyfriends. The break in case of emergency 6s, the cute girls, have them on block or not answering. You are the phone call before the lotion. Let me just let that sit right there. You are the phone call before the lotion.
It burns. Oh, it burns. Oh.
Yep, you're the phone call before the lotion. I used to see this in college all the time. I had fraternity brothers who were top tier guys. Big man on campus, good looking, low fat body count, known worldwide. I'm like, why are you doing? He's like, man, it was either that or jacking off. And I'm like, oh my God. I used to think that was so vile. But to him, it was like, I might as well in her versus, and I'm like, dude, that's a person. Ladies, I'm being honest with you. These dudes are using you to master. That's what you are. And I want you to understand that that's where a lot of these men value you at, because if they won't be seen in public with you, if you're not a day walker, shout out to, I'm not even going to say the name. If you're not a day walker, don't get mad at me. So here's what happens. Women have always put men in categories like this. Men that they will allow to give them attention. Men that they will allow to pay their bill or take them shopping. Women got men like this. Women got men like this too. They got them numbered in their phones just like men have them. Women got men, groceries, gas, phone bill, rent, car payment, insurance, nails, hair. And then they got men that they will allow to take lunch, dinner. If you're a dinner, you're better than lunch. They got dudes that are allowed to take them to vacation, but vacation means there's some sex involved. They got men, women who are 8s, 9s, and 10s. Women, they can have men who he can pleasure himself while looking at my toes, this is a thing. He can service me, but the men they want are the men that they will have relations with without dinner and a movie or whatever, and the men that she will actually pleasure. God, I'm trying to avoid the yeah, she will do that to him without dental down or yeah. See, you want to know where you rank, and you want to know, gentlemen, if she's not with no protection, that lets you know where you rank right there. But if you are a man that gets no condom privileges, well, you're on the upper end. Ladies, why is this important? Because far too many of you are spending your youth thinking you can hold out or thinking there's something you can do to get Mr. High Value. What can I do to get a high value man? What do I need to do? You can't. You're average looking. You're average looking, and there is nothing in your level of sophistication that will put you on the level to where one of these high value men or men of value need to dip down and bring you. Look, there is no reason that Mr. Attorney or doctor or financier or entrepreneur needs to come over and get you and then teach you the language, and they can't bring you around their colleagues, because if you say something that doesn't line up with what how the other women think, if you're not on their level, you see I want you to think about Jada Pinkett. Since Jada Pinkett's been in the movie so much, I want you to go back to the movie Set It Off. When they had Blair Underwood's character and Jada Pinkett's character, so many average women think that they're going to find a Blair Underwood who's going to take a liking to their unsophisticated ghetto self. And he's going to level you up. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No. That was a movie. At best, Blair Underwood would have smashed Jada's ass and left her hanging. She'd have got a Jersey Mike sub or a Firehouse sub fully involved and a gift card. That's what she would have got, and a bus pass back to Compton. He would have took Becky, Marisol, Mylene, Jamila back up to the Hollywood Hills. So more or less, the kind of men you ladies want, they require more. So let's start getting into it. The kind of men you ladies want, they require more. And just like I said it last week, because so many women seem to that's not what I wanted. Not a new scene. So many women seem to not have an issue with hold on. Is that it? Not a scene, not this, not that. Not a sound effect. So many women seem to not have an issue with the fact that men want women of a certain caliber. So I'm going to go ahead and piss y'all completely off. I'm going to go ahead and piss you completely off. 8s, 9s, and 10s, gentlemen, ladies. 8s, 9s, and 10s. 8s, 9s, and 10s. What are 8s, 9s, and 10s? You see right here? That's called a collarbone. You see that right there? That's called a waist. Yeah. Yeah, that's what that is. It's called a collarbone, and that's called a waist. Shirley? Don't want you. See, what you do have.
I got beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, lamb, rams, hogs, dogs, chicken, turkeys, rabbits, you name it!
What you do have, these guys don't want. And when I ask you, and what you don't
I
have,
don't need a cookbook.
they can go out and get it. They can contract for and get it themselves. You understand, ladies? You understand? Are we starting to get it now? What you do have, see, and on this model, believe it or not, this model comes standard with everything you think you bring to the table. On this model, the thing that you think guys want so much comes standard.
Vaginas are great.
Yep, come standard on that model. Come standard on that model. And in that, and whatever you like, whatever color, whatever shade you like, you can get your new vehicle in whatever shade you like. Because seeing as y'all having so much time capping on men for having choices and preferences, why not just go ahead and pull it on off? Because gentlemen, ladies, I'm gonna tell you something. Men want women who already understand their role. Men want women who already understand their role and can be an asset to them side by side. Are you always picking on black? No, I told you. It is. You've had hot girl summer. Well, summer is over. Summer is over. It is over. I know y'all want me to say something about it, but I'm not going to say it. Summer is over. Summer's over. You know what it is?
Winter is coming.
Winter is coming. Summer is over. Ladies, what does a guy who works downtown at the law firm or at the bank going to do with you at the company Christmas party? How you gonna take you around his colleagues? How's he gonna take you around his colleagues? What they gonna say? Huh? Hey, where'd you go to school at? Where'd you go to school? How do you fit around his colleagues and friends? Oh my God. Oh, they're gonna be mad at me. Yeah. Yep. See, preferences aside, because that's my preference. I prefer my women to look more like me. But it comes down to a matter of what's more or what's less. See, what so many women will sit back and say is the kind of men we want, they only want them white girls. No, they don't want white women. They want women who are women. They want females who act like women. They want females who are built like women. So the title of this show, I started to put, where the white women at? But I said I don't want to do that because that's a little too provocative. But what I will say is, men get so tired of hearing women talk about, you can't handle a strong woman. You're right. Can't handle it, don't want to handle it. Men are tired of women. Men of value are tired of hearing women talk about what they can or cannot handle. These men do not want to handle a woman. These men want women who know their role and are happy to do their role. And one of the ways you know a woman knows her role is look at how many rolls are around her neck or her waist.
I got beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, lamb, rams, hogs, dogs, chicken, turkeys, rabbits, you name it!
Look at how many rolls are around her neck or her waist. A woman who has let herself go is a woman who doesn't know her role. You'd say the same thing about a man who doesn't know his role if he's sitting up 30 years old working at Subway. If a man was 30 years old working at Subway and if a man's sitting at Subway at 30 years old and he's not the manager or trying to own a franchise, if he's on bread, because you know how Subway is, there's somebody on bread, there's somebody on meat, and there's somebody on vegetables. And there's somebody on the cash register. I wish you would be the dude that's on bread. Talk about you on a dime piece. Well, see, a lot of you ladies out here, you on bread. God damn it. You on bread. Try and talk about you deserve. I might as well get a high value mean you only live once. What? No, no. You can't be on bread. You can't be on meat. You can't be on vegetables. You need to at least be on cash register. Because cash register is who I get to talk to. I ain't talking to the rest of y'all. Cash register get the money. They see the credit card. You on bread. You a goddamn security risk. They can't even trust you with the cash register. And you want to be on Mr. High Value's arm. Please. I've said it before and I say it again. A woman tells men what they think they deserve by her looks and her attitude. So I am sorry to inform you that most men don't need to talk to you to understand what you already think of them. Because a woman who is unmarried and childless, who has allowed herself to get all tattooed up, overweight, out of shape, loud, vulgar, raucous, vulgar, whatever, is basically telling men, this is the highest that you get. And I need you ladies to understand there is nothing that you can do that's going to change that. Because what you think of men comes through in the end. So you can go all these femininity classes and think just by putting on some heels and putting your cankles in some heels and think you can learn how to walk and cross your legs and get a fan and start drinking tea with your pinky up. That ain't gonna change a damn thing. You still back your car in at Chick-fil-A. When you were at home, you still drink beer you still drink beer, period. You don't even put beer in a glass. You drink beer out the can. You don't even get import beer. Ladies, the kind of men you want are a different level. They're a different breed. And you have to be an asset to them and make him look good around his colleagues. And you need to understand that the women of the other men, his friends, their wives, they're going to be looking at you to see whether or not you fit. They think they're going to invite you over to the Mother's Wednesday coffee meet. Do you realize, ladies, I'm trying to save you a lot of personal embarrassment. Because if you are a woman like Blair Underwood, and let's use a set it off thing, or Blair Underwood and Jada Pinkett. Imagine if she just got the fantasy. Or Richard Gere and Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman. Imagine if they'd have got the fantasy. Could you imagine Julia Roberts' character trying to sit at the local Kiwanis meeting or the Junior League or whatever? They'd be like, okay. Because women are very nasty. They find out, where you from? Who are your people? And blah, blah, blah. Jada Pinkett sit up there with all these AKAs and Deltas, and they'd be like, oh, okay. You're from where? Crenshaw. Okay. Oh. Is that okay. Okay. Your last, so is that in Beverly Hills or is it in Hollywood Hills? Oh, last name is Jenkins. Is that of the Beverly Hills Jenkins? Oh, you're from the Crenshaw Jenkins. Oh, okay. I can tell you, ladies, you don't want those kind of problems. Come up to the office. Hello, Attorney Blair. Yes. Keisha keeps calling. Tell her I'm in the meeting. I've tried, sir, but she won't stop calling. Okay. Well, just send her the voicemail. Well, I would, but you know that one time you asked me to send her some flowers or whatever. She has my personal cell phone number. So every time I send her, she just calls me on my personal cell phone. Yeah, you know how y'all act. There's no chill. Y'all think you can use them same average ass tactics with these men. And that won't work because you don't understand the kind of men you want. You can't bribe these men with your vajayjay. If that's all it took to get him and keep him, you should have him as your husband. These men require more, not less. So I've tried to give you ladies an idea of what these men think of as less. And I've tried to give you an idea of a way to actually rate where you are. But inevitably, I know that most of you ladies are going to still be kind of confused and think that, and whether you're confused or not, many of you are going to think there is something you can do to change it. Well, let's ask this question, shall we? I want you ladies, and I want you ladies, I'm going to open the call line in just a second, but guys, one of the great things about being a guy is we have an ability to accept reality. Women, on the other hand, gentlemen, it never ceases to amaze me the average woman's ability to deny observable reality and facts. Never ceases to amaze me. So here's something I'm going to show you guys. Yesterday on Instagram, I put up here, how old is too old to still be dating? Look at Granny, good grandma. Granny look at mama on them. Mama she all up on Tinder. She all up on the Bumbles. She's on Plenty of Fish. Oh my God, the jokes for Plenty of Fish. The fish, the 60-year-old fish. Stop waffling. Shout out to Replicant. How old is too old? Never stop dating. When and if you find the one, continue to date them. Whatever. Ladies, my mom got remarried at 75. No age. I'm just like, and see, here's the thing. Ladies, at what age, at what point do some of you decide to throw in the towel? And I know there are a lot of women out here like, what do you mean throw in the towel? Yeah. See, before you give up, you should have at least gotten real. But for many of you, you didn't get real until it was too late. And at what age? Because let's just think about it. Let's just imagine that you are, I don't know, you're a 5. You're a woman who's a 5, like the bus driver or the truck driver or any other women I've talked to over the years. So I don't want to just focus on those people. But any woman, you're a 5 or a 6, and you've gotten into your late 30s, and you every bit of 200 plus pounds. It's too old to still be talking about you want to have kids. You need to give that up. It's too old. It's done. It's too old. You ladies got to ask yourself, at what age was stuff start getting taken off the table? Kids, high value men, whatever. The older you get, the less you get. The more you want, the more you got to be. So we're going to open the call lines. More or less. Ladies, more or less. I'm going to also say this before I open the call lines. Make sure you still subscribe to this channel. YouTube is doing some crazy things right now. And what they'll do from time to time is YouTube will actually unsubscribe people platform wide. So if you haven't been here in a couple of weeks or whatever, you want to make sure that you're still subscribed to the channel. Number 1. Number 2, turn your notifications to all. More or less, ladies, more or less. The more you want, the more you have to be. What kind of man can you get at the man store? What kind of man can you get at the man store? I think these are fair questions. Before we open the call line, nope. We're going to need at least, we have 15,000 people in here. We're going to need. Thank you for the people with the big donations. I appreciate you guys, but we're going to need folks to come in with some more for some more tens and some more 20s, because see what happens when people put in big donations. People, believe it or not, Lou, do you realize how many people say, "Well, Lou did it, so I don't have to"? French toast that. If Lou put something else, Lou put it in. If you ain't put nothing in ever, and you like these programs, and you like the interaction, and you appreciate whether you like my tone or not, you at least appreciate the fact that the conversation is being had. Because here's the reality. Just like I talked to a young lady on Instagram last night. You know what? I'm going to bring it up. I'm going to bring it up because it was so important last night. So important last night. Especially in the black community, so many of our women have been convinced that they should hold out for high value men and this and that and this bullshit. And what are you doing? You're wasting your prime years because of something that you think is so important, and it really is not as valuable as you think it is. Of 100%, what percentage of the overall family financial load? Hold on. You divorce and have double the rate you marry. Our population has not you marry and earn what it, I'm gonna call your daddy Earl. And if Earl had to go to work in the world and earn what Earl's market value skills was worth, he'd likely be earning what the average black man earns.
Yeah.
$21 an hour. And you would have had to live like that with your daddy coming home 8 to 5 every day. And your mama would have to go to work. And you'd have to live there, grilled cheese sandwiches and bologna, just like everybody else. Not princess, nothing. Black people ain't never had this wealth of riches. And when you go to an HBCU, it's even worse to hear you guys say this because you're supposed to know who we are.
Yeah.
And then I look at a woman who seems like a nice personality, but it's wasted because you want something way up here, and somebody can come to you right here, and you will be like,
No, that's not. But no, I'm not. That's the thing, though. That's really not true. Like I really give.
I hope so. I hope so. I hope you would date an average. I hope you would.
No, I've dated.
I hope you would marry him.
Yes,
I hope you would marry him. Okay, but see, the thing is, when I start running through the example of the kids and this, and they say, well, I have less kids. Why? Why less kids? Just live at your means.
Because traveling is something that's really like big for me, and I want my kids to travel. So.
Black women, pull your fucking hand out of your ass. Travel. Our community is dying. You divorce and have double the rate you marry. Our population has not grown.
You're right.
And y'all are worried about you worried about traveling to impress who?
I'm trying, okay? Like
who you worried about
I'm
traveling?
not trying to impress.
Travel for what?
Well, I'm big on traveling because I'm a big history buff, so I really want to be
travel to the fucking library.
I do, but I want to
read a book, man. Do you think we got the travel coming up? It's called National Geographic. Regular people don't get to travel the world.
You're right.
And this is why men are so frustrated with you guys, because you'll look at an average man and you'll nag the shit out of him.
I never thought about it like that. Like, we need to populate more of us, you know?
The world, a community can rise no higher than the moral position of its woman. And our women want everything. And you're average. And no, you need to work so we can travel to impress who?
Yeah, no, you're right. No, but I'm not traveling to impress people. It's more.
I am a knowledge person. I get all that, but what is most important?
No, what's most important is bettering our community and
it's family.
Yeah, and family and creating Black families.
Where are your people from? If your people are from the South, Most go to New Orleans and you will see people who live in an ancestral home that has been there since antebellum South.
Yeah, that's where my family's from,
Well then,
Louisiana, Baton Rouge. So yeah, you're right. No one's never broken it down to me. So like that.
I know because we've been pushed into this hyper consuming culture.
Yeah.
That's not for everybody. You know, the kind of stuff you're talking about, when I was coming up, everybody didn't expect to live in a mansion and drive a Mercedes. People were happy living a lot of people lived in apartments their entire lifetime.
Yep.
You know, many people in my mother's generation didn't buy their first home until they were in their 50s. So, difficult conversation, good conversation. Look, his people die to get in this country. And you look at Hispanic people from Mexico coming over here, and they value family first. They're not trying to. I'm sorry. I said we are the generational wealth. We are the generational wealth, ultimately, is what I said to this person. So more on this later. But the problem we have is so many people in this we have fostered this appetite for women who are average looking women who think that just because they can see it, they should get it. And I said, ma'am, you're an average woman. You got a liberal arts degree. And she came in talking about, oh, I don't want no high value man. I don't need all that. I just need a good man. I just want a solid man. And I was hopeful. But then I had to go down the path. And guess what? She still ends up talking about she wants 3 kids. And she wants to live in Northern Virginia. And the houses in Northern Virginia are around $500,000 for the size house she's talking about. And then when you get to the numbers, because you ladies are single women, you know you got Macy's money in your checking account. You know your single ass has Sephora and JCPenney's money in your checking account. Getting married does not promote you to Neiman Marcus and Tom Ford. You still get Macy's. And you've been told that if a man cannot take you from JCPenney's and Macy's to Tom Ford, Saks Fifth Avenue, Neiman Marcus, and better, that he's not worth anything. And that's why we're losing our generational wealth, because we don't have women marrying men making families. Instead, we got the bullshit we see today. Women getting up on social media talk about, I'm pregnant. Where's your husband? God gonna send him. But then here comes another wrecked ass family with women congratulating women. Women, stop celebrating baby mamas. Women, stop celebrating baby mamas. When a woman puts up that she's expecting, ask her when she's expecting to be married. If a woman puts it on Instagram, I'm expecting, what's your husband's name? If she posts a picture talking about she's expecting and her husband ain't in it with it, downvote it. Y'all need to start clowning this shit. Only community that celebrates baby mamaism. And all it does is perpetuate one more generation of broken families. And y'all talk about generational wealth and all these other fucking terms that mean nothing without a man. This is why I laugh. More or less. You want more and you're less. Well, if you're less, get less. And work together to become more. But you've been told that you could be average. And just because what? You have of a JJ, you can all of a sudden demand a high value man? And if not, what ends up happening? You wait till it's too late. You wait until it's too late, like most women. You wait until it's too late because I'm too young. I don't want to get married in my 20s. I need my 20s for myself. Then you what? You look up and you're 30 years old and run headlong into the wall with your PhD.
I'm a PhD.
You start looking around and people look in your skill sets and you don't even
I don't
have
need a cookbook.
You ain't got a cookbook. You look around and you big Shirley.
Danger zone!
Then you looking around, it's like, well, and then in the background is. So you know what comes next. You guys know what comes next, right? What comes next? Anybody want to tell me what comes next? Oh my God, where's my sound for that shit? Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Then they start getting all nervous and start, what am I gonna do? I need to find a man. I can't find a husband. Right. It ain't no man's fault. It ain't our fault. The clock is ticking. The clock is ticking. And then what do you start hearing in the background? Here's where it comes. You know what starts next? Well, here's what I'll do. That's the first step. They start looking around. They take their little bit of money they made and they go freeze their eggs. Then they start doing that when it ain't working. The alarm hits. The alarm hits and they go freeze the eggs. The next thing you know, go like, hey big head. Hey big head. They start going back to the Rolodex or they go back to the text messages of boyfriends past, trying to revive old ass relationships because they can't go out on the market to get nothing new. So they got to go by to try to get a previous driver. Hey, you ate at our restaurant last year. Why don't you come back? If I wanted to come back, I'd have been back. So when the hey big head don't work,
winter is coming.
They start freezing eggs. Next thing you know, this is when all of a sudden this happens. They done frozen eggs. They're over 30. They got the college degree. They got their job.
I'm a PhD.
Then what ends up happening? Here he comes, Mr. Serial Impregnator, Mr. Dude that's loose with his seed, and all of a sudden you're in your mid-30s and end up pregnant before you have a husband because somebody was reckless enough to go ahead and shoot the club up. So you ain't got to use one of them frozen eggs. You just wouldn't got to do it. They got kids from everybody else. So you can be a single mom with so you don't have to die alone. Yeah, I know you. Then you be the first one posting on Instagram. The Lord done blessed me. I'm 36 years old and expecting my first child. What? Well, you said we need to build up families and need to reproduce. And no, I said you need to get a husband and do all that. See, out of order. If you would get your attitude straight first and get what needs to be done first, you could have the baby and the husband and be an asset to the community. Ladies, are you an asset to our community? I'm just asking. Are the way most single women today acting like they're an asset to the community? I don't care about your job. Are you making babies without a man? Are you making babies without a husband? Are you making another generation of fractured families, wrecked homes? Because I don't think women who are an asset to their communities are moving as individual boss chicks and entrepreneurs and hot girls. Women who are assets to their communities are attached to a man via marriage. and they're sticking in their relationship like their vows say. Better for worse, richer for poor, sickness and health, to death do you part. Not until you're bored, not till it don't work, not till, uh, yeah, all the bullshit reasons that so many women come up with, breaking their vows to end up going to take their kids to go raise their kids, and they want to have a conversation with their kids. I'm a Christian, but I'm going to tell you why I divorced your daddy, because I just couldn't handle it, but I'm a Christian. But I'm going to wreck this family. I'm going to break my vow, but I'm a Christian, and I'm going to wear Christianity up here with all these tattoos and shit all over my face. Come on, man. More or less. And if you don't think these men see this, they see it, and they're saying, all right, well, if they're going to look for a wife, they're going to look for somebody to build with. What kind of straw are you to make bricks? Are you straw worthy of brick making? That's what I'm asking. Only Zoom call today. A lot. So, ladies, if you have any questions, do you have anything you want to say about anything I put up this week? Ladies only, your time to call in. Because a lot of women are to the point to where
Recording in progress.
you think that we've heard for the longest that men don't want to get married, don't want relationships. No, my position is most women don't want to be married. I think the reason that marriage is on the decline in the black community in particular is because black women don't want to be wives. Far too not black women. That's an absolute statement. Because we have far too many black women that value their independence over being a wife. You want a wedding, but you don't want to be a wife. You value your independence. You value your little middle income job and your ability to so-called travel over everything else. And then you wonder why another holiday season is here and you are alone with no prospects. Well, you're going to be spending Thanksgiving with your mama and Aunt Shell and all them badass kids, and not a single solitary one of all you women from baby boomer to Generation X to millennial, near one of you have a husband in there. Well, are women and children? Is that family? Are women and children family? Because what is the black community right now? Black communities, black men over here, and then women and kids over here. Our marital rate is teetering at 30%, and that's going to take a sharp drop when the baby boomer generation passes. How do you build families if you don't have wives? How do you build families if you don't have wives? So my question is, whether you like what I say or don't like what I say, my question to all the women, right now to all the black women, if black men across the board are looking for wives, regardless as to what you think about these black men, let's just say they're all 10 trash bag dusties or whatever the latest catchphrase is. Let's say they're all horrible. Let's say they're all horrible. Fine. They're all beneath you. You're great and wonderful, and they don't qualify for you. But these men are looking for wives. You're too good for them. They suck. Okay, fine. Is it okay for them to start getting with non-black women? Because if you don't want them, is it okay for them to start getting with non-black women? Now, regardless as to my preference, what do you ladies want for these men? Uh-oh, here comes the onslaught right there. My preference is that I've already said my preference. But is he good enough for you? What kind of man is good enough for you? Come on, get on the camera. All right, you about to get bounced. One of the common complaints you tend to hear from women is, I wasn't taught that, I didn't know that. Granted, you weren't taught, you didn't know. So what? So what? You weren't taught, you did not know. Are you moving in life like it matters? Here we go. Because I'll tell you one of the things you hear more often than not is we want to be. Black women will say they want to be with men, and going into the rest of the year, my position is this, gentlemen. If you are in the top 20% of men, you got your stuff together, you got a clean bill of health, and you're ready to be on the market. You need to get with the. You need to pick the first woman. You need to pick the woman that you want that wants you. You need to pick the woman that you want that wants you. Because you cannot build a community. You can't build anything. There is a cap on a lot of this stuff. There's a cap on success. I know that a lot of people don't agree, but that you can't dispute the numbers. Here's another question. Here's something else I've heard. Well, Kevin, I hear what you're saying, but somebody said about teaching Jessica X how to play spades. Look, man, I would rather argue over culture than over treatment. Culture. What is your culture? What is your culture? What is a culture based on? I would rather talk about, different nuances in culture as long as it came in the package of respect. As long as it came in the package of respect and gender roles. Having to argue with somebody over, silly stuff, little stuff, it's not fair to her, it's not fair to you. And the same thing, I'll tell black women too. Look, if you're in a place where you can't seem to find the kind of brother that you need to find, and you are equally got your stuff together, and a non-black man runs up on you, then go ahead. But see, the trick is you got to be willing to treat the black man the same way you would treat the non-black man. And that's the problem. Stephanie, your audio is not connected. Go ahead, Jamila. Hello.
Hi, Kevin. How are you?
I am okay. How old are you?
I'm I'm 50. How am I? 52.
Okay,
Yeah, I'll be
cool.
53 in December 31st. Yes.
All right. So
hmm
what are we talking about? What do you got for me?
Okay, so you said more or less. I mean, fear of strangers, no robbery. We do understand that, the attraction is based on how you look, and getting what you want is based on how you look. However, I will say this. I agree with what you're saying. Um, my feeling is this: if a man is not interested in these so-called average women, why do they leave, impregnate them? Why do they get themselves tied and leave their children with these women? I've seen it, and it's a
Hold
horrible
on, hold on, hold
situation.
on, hold on, hold on, hold on. See, how long have you been watching my program?
About 4 weeks.
hmm Over here, I deal strictly with facts, data, and statistics above anything else.
That's
Okay.
correct.
Okay. So
hmm
you said if men don't want to marry these average women, why they
Yes.
get them pregnant?
Yes.
Okay. Well, let's first start off with the fact that 54% of black men are single and childless.
hmm
So
And I guess that. Okay,
hold
sorry. Go
on, hold
ahead.
on.
Okay.
54%. of black men
Mhm.
have no children.
Mhm.
30% of black men are married. And the children that come out of that marriage are exempted from your statement.
That
Because
is
they're still,
correct.
so that gives us 54 and 30. That's
Mhm.
84.
Mhm.
That
Mhm.
means a full 80% of the children being made in the black community are being
Yes.
made by less than 20% of the men.
Mhm.
So my question,
Okay.
so to answer your question is why are women having children with men with multiple children who aren't married? And then women like you asking why are the women picking them?
You got me there, Kevin. You got me
Goddamn right I
there.
did.
You got me there.
Because you came in with that
Okay.
same old talking point that men are leaving babies everywhere. And you should be
Well,
ashamed
no,
of it.
not,
Ma'am,
no, no, not.
54% of black men are childless. So you can't, why are these men doing it? What men are doing what?
No, no, I wasn't making an accusation to that. Maybe that's how I misspoke, and I'm sorry about that.
No, it
But
is an accusation.
uh,
You said if these average men, if these men don't want these average women, then why are they leaving them with babies? That is an accusation that men are having, the black men are having sex with black women and leaving them with babies, and they're average. That's not supported by the facts.
okay, and I guess well, let me can I say this?
Go
I
ahead.
was piggybacking off a couple of things you said in some of y- your
Hmm.
other things where you said that women who are raising black boys, they're doing it alone, and the boys are not getting the mentorship from the males that they need to become the kind of men that you're talking about and you're describing now, which I think that I is an asset to me as well. Because what you said, I've learned so much myself that having these women and leaving these children with these women, particularly male children,
No
they don't
one's
get what
leaving.
you're
No
giving
one.
now.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. See, no one's
Mm.
leaving children.
No, you don't think that because when you
Are
talk
they
about the
starting out
single,
married? Are these women starting out married?
no, they're not.
Then I don't want to have any more conversation. They
Okay,
are
so you're
choosing to.
dealing
Hold
based
on,
on
ma'am.
just
Hold on,
marriage.
ma'am. Hold on, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
You're old
Okay.
enough to remember what the world was.
Absolutely, I do.
Then, damn it,
I
we're
miss
not
it.
supposed. Are
I
you
miss it.
supposed? Hold on, ma'am. Then you
Uh huh.
know that if a woman has a child today with 33 forms of birth control, with single, it is not like it was when we were coming up. If a child
I
is
miss
born
it.
today, it's because a woman chose to bring it to term.
That
So
is
the better
correct.
question is why are these women who share your reflection
Hmm.
choosing to be single mothers? Choosing to be unwed? No, ma'am. It's a choice to be a single mother because
Right.
you choose to get pregnant before you're married.
That's correct.
And we have all
I
the
guess.
statistics. We have all the
Yeah.
statistics, all the data, all of the predictive information of the outcome from children raised in single parent households. So my question to you is why are these same women you're talking about choosing to be single mothers and put their family in that likely future?
I, I'm being transparent because this is what I'm trying to say in essence. We're taking advantage of you guys, and if men or boys are not taught that this is the type of manipulation and games that women play on them, this will constantly happen, and you'll have
You're
young
taking
boys being
advantage of
raised
who,
around
man? But who
women
are you taking advantage of?
of men who are not aware of a woman's need to,
Ma'am,
you
hold on.
know,
What? Okay,
put.
man. We've already. Okay, I'm talking about the 80% of children. Women are taking
Hmm.
advantage of what sector of men?
Okay, okay, all right. Average men.
No, no,
However,
ma'am. No, ma'am.
average
No,
men.
ma'am. No, no, ma'am. They're not
What?
average. They're not average, ma'am. The math: 100% of men, 54% single. Women are taking advantage of single and childless. So that's 5 out of 10, almost six, almost 5.5 out of 10 that women cannot take advantage of with childbirth. Right? Right?
If you put it that way, that's
That's
correct.
not if you put it that way. That's how it is. If you can't, if a
Okay,
man,
so
no, ma'am, no, no, I don't do, I do logic.
Okay.
54% of men are single and childless. So by that fact, they cannot be taken advantage of when it comes to getting having children. True or false?
That is true.
Okay, so we move 54 out of 100 away. There's 46 left. 30 of those men are married. They can't be taken advantage of because their children are coming from a marriage. True or false?
That is true as well.
So there's only that so that 54 and that 30% is 84. That's over 80%. So there's 16 left. And the 16 left are producing 80% of the children. So, in what you're saying is black women are taking advantage of 16% of men who are loose with their seed and making the lion's share of children in black America.
I am saying I have said that. Yes.
Well, then I think the problem ain't the men.
No, I
If
never
it-
said it was the men.
Well,
Mm-mm.
but why pick that 16% if they can be and why they're picking them because they will allow themselves to just have babies all over the place. And if you did something very simple, how many of those 16%, if you made marriage a requirement, would they still reproduce with? If you had to be if you had to be married before you could produce a child, would
Would
women
be
still
lower.
be?
Would be lower.
So I guess the point I want to kind of get into, man, is the problem is not with the men. The problem is black men are leaving kids everywhere. Women are choosing to have kids with a minority of black men. And there's a
That
case that can be made that that's not the best majority. Are those 16%? Are they the Rhodes scholars and the movers and shakers and the leaders of industry?
no. Can I say something a little
Go ahead, go ahead,
unintelligent, but try to make
go
a
ahead.
point here? Um, what you're saying is correct there. However, say for instance, the woman is trying to get a high value man, and I'm going to athletics because my scope in life is very
You're going to
is not
athletics?
small. Yes, athletics and the guys are making big income there. A lot of women on NFL too as well. They go with those. They
Well,
meet
first
these
off, I need to
guys.
be
They
clear. I need to be
marry.
clear. I need to be clear. I don't consider those guys to be high value just because
Oh,
they make
okay.
money.
Oh, so we're not classifying them as high
Well,
value.
not automatically. Not automatically. High value is
Okay,
more than just money. But go ahead. I just need to make that
true.
distinction.
From a woman's perspective, then I will say it that way.
Go ahead.
And then the women are having babies, and these guys are having babies by multiple women, and it's becoming like a financial hustle. It's a financial hustle.
So,
Um,
so.
so so it goes back to what I was
No,
trying to say
ma'am.
about the
It
average
doesn't,
man.
ma'am. No, it doesn't, ma'am. How many men are in the NFL?
Not many.
Thank you. So why are we
Not
talking
many
about
when you
that?
talk about
So why are we
globally.
talking about
Yes.
that? I mean, that's not the majority of the men. That's not the majority of the situation. In this
But if you
situation,
say,
ma'am,
uh
you asked initially started with our community and asked why these children are being left fatherless because women are choosing to marry before they carry, and they're choosing to reproduce with men that they would not marry. What do we do if 80% of our children are being selected or being made by mothers who pick this way?
and at that point, I was kind of asking, is there responsibility on the side of the male to be about his seed to say, hey, if I'm going to play, I'm going to not leave that egg. I
Ma'am,
mean,
ma'am, no, it's no.
no,
Look, you
no,
keep
you
trying to
don't
make
think
it
so?
no. I'll tell you why not.
You
80%
don't
of
think of
children, okay, listen.
hmm yes,
80% of children being made by 16% of the men.
right.
They
That
can
that's
only
not a
marry
that.
stop, ma'am.
hmm Yes,
They can only marry one woman.
I understand that,
So how much
but
you can't
but
put
all
that much responsibility on 16% of no, ma'am. Responsibility the responsibility comes back to women, and they're choosing to pick men to make reproduce with that aren't their husbands.
so Kevin, can I ask this question from a man's perspective though?
Go ahead.
If and I know we're talking about 60% of the population, and you're talking about the other 85,
I'm
84%.
talking about what matters. Yes.
Right, I got you. Um, why is it that the men wouldn't worry about who has their seed and raising their child? Does and in
What are you
particularly if
talking
they
about? The
had
men
a
wouldn't.
boy
Which men? The 16% who making most of the kids?
Okay, okay. Can we talk about that for a second? Would you, lend me that
I don't.
latitude?
Okay. What are you asking? Why guys who are okay, man? Listen. Stop.
How can I get a
Stop. No,
specific
no, no,
night?
man. Because
Yeah,
that's ultimately, man.
yes,
Do you have any children?
I do.
Are all your children by one man?
Yes,
Do you know women who have children by multiple men?
I do, and I see
Do you
the boys
know?
suffer.
Excuse me. Do you think
Sorry.
these women? Do you think these women under? You know women who have children by multiple men, but you chose to have all your kids by one man because it was a choice,
Right.
man.
No choice.
You
Right.
cannot hold. If a man is reckless with his seed, do you not think women know that this man would? If the, do you not realize that there are women out there who just want babies and don't want to be married?
I do. I'm a social worker. I do.
Well, then, damn it, then how you gonna stop that? You stop, and you know how you fix this? Stop paying for them. Let them go make a baby, and then stop giving them any kind of aid. If you decide to go make babies with a man who's a serial impregnator, you live on what you can live
Hmm.
on.
Right.
But how does that
I
affect them?
agree.
The bigger question is why are women making babies out of wedlock with men who are, like I said, there's only 16% of men responsible for the lion's share of kids. Even if that 16% of men became born again Christians and married their baby mama, they can't marry them all. In
We were
Memphis,
duped.
what would you have? Three men who had 87 children. Do you not think
I
those
do remember
80?
on Ayana,
Well, do you not? Then those women knew about each other.
and they knew about it. They knew about it.
So where does the responsibility lie? With the man?
You know what, Kevin? I wish there were more men that say the stuff that you say because I will tell you, I was raised with a dad in the household. He was definitely me and my sister and my brother, no kids in the family. But this open conversation, I never had this. I wish I'd have had this. I'm going to give it to
Man, what
my
do you
girls.
mean? What do you mean more men to say what I say? 54% of our
Just
men are no, ma'am.
to tell the
Ma-
truth.
No, ma'am. Hold on, ma'am. No, no, no. See, that's why I push
To tell
back.
the truth about
No, ma'am.
life. I
Stop,
didn't
stop,
know
stop,
this.
stop, stop, stop.
Seriously, Kevin.
Can't overtalk me, lady. I just can't keep doing that. You act like I'm the first person that's been saying this. If 54% of black men are single and childless, these conversations have been happening my entire life. The problem ain't the conversation. The problem is who y'all ain't listening, doing what the hell you want to do, and then coming back and playing innocent. I didn't know. I didn't know. Yeah, you knew. You have to unmute yourself, but you were over talking me.
I didn't know.
Man,
I didn't know I was muted. Okay.
well, because I told you you were over talking me, and that won't work. But man, we're
Oh, I'm
about the
sorry.
same age. These
Yes.
conversations have been going. As long as I've been on the planet, men have been having these conversations. The problem is not the conversation. The problem is the reality is that our women did what the hell they
Hmm.
wanted to. They did
Yeah,
what
we
they
got
wanted
happy.
to. They
Yeah.
were talking to me, and now the
Yeah.
chickens have come home to roost. They thought I don't need no man. I'm strong, independent, blah blah blah. And now at 40 plus years old, the dynamics have changed.
You ain't never told a lie on that one. I'm not going to disagree with that. I thought I had the lifetime.
Well, so
I
men
thought
have,
I had a lifetime. I never
like it or
did.
not, men have had to suffer this shit. And now, I mean, Brittany, go ahead and unmute
It,
yourself.
it,
Hold on. Hey, Brittany, how are you? Hold on, Jimmy.
I'm good, Kevin. How are you?
Good. What do you got on the topic? What are we talking about?
For me, I think it's pointless for you to have this conversation with these women because guess what? Most of them they're in denial. Because even when you say to a woman, how can you have kids with somebody like that? You know that he had kids already. You know that he's not around for his kids. They choose
Well,
not to own it and say, well, I choose to have a kid with this person because whatever, 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 and all of that. they're gonna
Mm,
say, "Oh, I don't need him. I don't this. I don't that."
well, let me
The
tell you why it is.
conversation.
Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why it is. Let me tell you why it is valuable. Because in this country, we have had 50 years plus of denial and confusion. There's too much information. Now, you guys watch this platform. How many people aren't? And this needs to get out to a larger portion because I'm sorry, it in our community it has been studied that we are more susceptible to programming. And you go on Instagram, and how many times on Instagram or on Facebook on a daily basis do you see women who are popular, women in the mainstream, women who have are notable and have profiles who are talking about they're having kids every day. You got some single mother pregnant. Now,
No
tell
lie.
me on tell me on the given day where you see as many or even one woman saying I'm getting married.
It's rare. It's very rare. Very, very rare.
So we have to keep drilling this home that even though we don't like hearing about it because we're getting exhausted from hearing the same story. It's like this is exhausting. Well, that's why I get it. Not everybody wants to do this. But there's so
Yeah, but
much there's been so much that has gone on. We gotta have the conversation because you gotta understand what's being programmed elsewhere. It's just one
yeah,
person with one
when
YouTube channel.
I understand what you're saying and I'm all for what you're saying. But when you do say to women and you tell them that, listen, we don't want to make the same mistakes that we see people making. And people choose to be single parent. I know women who choose to be single parent. And then you see when I'm childless, I will say to them, how can you choose to be a single parent? I curse every day. I'm not being a single mother. I do not want to be a single mother. Before I am a single mother, I prefer not to have kids. And that's just how I see it. I'm not gonna
Well,
do it by myself. I tell them that they look at you, they cuss you out, they talk
well,
a lot of
they
bad
cuss you out.
about you
Why do they cuss you out though? So you got to get to that point. Why do they cuss you out?
because they say that, oh, you talk white, oh, you this, you that,
No,
oh,
they
you're like
curse
an
you.
Oreo.
Hold on. More than that, they curse you out because they have had 50 years of backup. You couldn't do this when I was a boy. You couldn't come to church pregnant without a husband. If you in the 60s popped up pregnant, you had to hide. You had to go somewhere. But now, not only can women show up in church with three kids from three different men, they can sit on the front row and get happy and flirt with the pastor because we don't have enough people talking about it because it's exhausting. But if we don't talk about it, you're going to continue to get cursed out because the backup is overwhelming. I saw three popular women today talking about being pregnant and Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and TikTok blowing up. And I'm like, where are the husbands? And in the comment section, all these black women, congratulations, girl, and da, 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 and got the nerve to talk about God and everything else. I'm like, well, okay, cool, but where's the husband?
But in media now, even on Instagram, even on commercials, it is being what's being portrayed is that black woman we're supposed to be able to do without men. Because I was
Well,
seeing
the point
a
is you don't.
commercial.
The point is if you got to keep having the conversation. You got to keep having the conversation. You got to, and it didn't get this way overnight. It's not gonna get fixed overnight. So this content is not meant for people who want to. You might age out of this content. You may get to a different point, but that's what my Patreon and other things are for. But these kind of programs have to continue to go on because I got news for you. When you first got here, you probably had a different mindset than you did months later. Every day there's
Hell
somebody
yes.
new. Every day there's somebody new. Hold on. Hey, what's going on, Brittany?
Hi,
What's going on?
how are you?
I'm well. What do you got for
I
me?
wanted to call. I know we were talking about, well, before we went off on the conversation about the 54% and 16%. I wanted to talk about the more or less, and
Mm-hmm.
Chris, and we've had our conversations about me offering, we're wanting to offer more to get more, and I had
Uh-huh.
a few questions
Go
in the
ahead.
dating, because we talk about being feminine and cooperative
Mm-hmm.
and things. How do you determine, or how should a woman determine, like, say for example, sometimes I've been on dates and the man wants to take charge, make the order, talk to the server, order my food, and then sometimes a gentleman might like it if I order the food, or if I ask them what they want. How do you know, is it a beta male, like alpha male thing,
I
or
don't understand the question. I don't understand the question. Make it simple.
how do you gauge that you're being feminine based on how a man wants to take charge or wants you to take charge, if that makes sense?
Well, femininity is see. That's one of the things that so many women today do. You don't turn femininity out just like you don't turn masculinity on or off.
Right.
In your feminine, okay. So you and let's say in this situation, you say you have a man and he wants to take charge and order the meal and everything else. Okay.
Right.
Then it proceeds as normal. Then you got a man who's sitting there and he wants you to order the food on a date.
Yeah, like I've been in situations where
Then you keep
he'll,
your mouth. Then you keep your mouth closed.
okay, so don't even try to step into that role
No, no. Let your
at
stomach
all.
growl. Drink some water. Sit there and look at him like he's a goddamn fool. And then if 15, 20 minutes goes by, you don't do anything. Politely excuse yourself. Go to the bathroom. Hit an Uber and get the fuck out.
Okay. All right. I guess if my thought process was trying to be
Nope.
cooperative or on
Nope. Nope.
them, or
Nope.
okay.
Nope. Have you ever seen a woman? Have you ever seen a woman who walks up to a door and has a man in her vicinity and she just stops at the door?
Oh, like walks up to a closed door?
Yeah, like going to a mall or something, and you go to a mall. You ever
I,
walk to a mall? Have you ever seen that? Huh?
I do that myself.
I mean, but now, do you see women who will just why? So the first time I ever saw that happen was a woman from I'm not gonna say where she's from. She just stood there. There's a security guard to the right of her, but her man, she stopped, and her husband was coming across the parking lot. She waited until he came and opened the door.
Right.
Why? She could open the door herself.
Well, I mean, how I was taught that men open doors.
Yeah, but what if you don't have a man behind you though? My point is that woman was living in her feminine. And there are things that you do and you don't do just because you can do things. That does not make you more cooperative or less cooperative. It doesn't just like um, this is a larger conversation. If you're getting
Okay.
men who are sending you confusing signals like that, I would say don't even go out on date one with them. Because if you're sitting at a meal with somebody, well, I guess that's okay. That's kind of harsh. If you go out on first date with somebody, that's fair. You got to get to meet somebody. But if you're sitting across with somebody and you're not getting the vibe that they know how to take charge and just order a simple meal, and they're waiting
Right.
for you to order, you start how you end. It's better to just
Okay.
end that situation. Because what happens for so many of you ladies is you'll try to do with this man what you want to try to do with that man, and with that man with this man, and then you mess it all up. Deal with the
Right. And
men.
I
That's
think
the
it,
point because you try to make Frankenstein. Go back to the video. Women like monsters. I like the way this guy moves. I like the way this guy does this. This guy does that. Femininity is something you stay in. You don't get in and out. I'll make that as simple as possible. Hold on. Go ahead.
well, I don't want to, I think I was thinking too much into it because I try to be cooperative, or, get on someone's program, like you say. And it's just like, okay, if this is the kind of
Well,
thing that he likes.
getting on a program is fine, but I said it the other day when I was talking to the men that we have to have a job description, and the job description comes with details in a list. And nothing in your job description says on the first date you should be ordering anything. Um, that really doesn't make any sense. But and if he moves if he moves that way on date one, it's probably going to show up other places too. And unless you want to
Right.
move that way, don't start that way. Let me bring somebody else in
Okay.
as well.
All right. Thank
Uh, um, here's what I'm afraid of is going to be for so many of our women is that so yeah, that's why you always bring somebody in here doing this stuff. I don't get why I'm not. It's not open for guys yet. As we get into the holiday season, ladies, more or less, here's the question: as a woman, as a feminine asset, are you an asset in this season, or are you a liability? Can you because honestly, many men. I'm gonna just speak honestly from the hip, ladies. A lot of men are just tired. One of the questions I get from men more often than anything is, are these ladies being serious or are they playing dumb? Because a lot of guys are like, women can't really think this way. And the issue is, ladies, you need to know where you're starting with from your overall image in men's minds and then act accordingly. Here's a problem. So many women will feel like, well, I didn't do A, B, and C, so I should not have to do A, B, and C. That's bull. Let me tell you, when I was a young man in the '90s, I didn't do the things uh, to tarnish the black male image, but I damn sure had to pay for them. I damn sure had to pay for them. I had to pay for them. Black men, understand something. How many times as a man, 50 or less, you had to pay for sins of the father? So you're going if you consider yourself to be a good woman, and I shouldn't have to deal with what they did today. Well, until you get a husband, you need to approach the market like yeah, you do because they don't know you. Hello, how are you, Precious? Hello,
Hi.
how are you?
So good. I'm good. How are you?
How old are you?
22.
Okay, so what's the question?
So I guess my question is, so what's the consequences for like the men who go ahead and, I mean, let's say they're in the top 20 or 16% and still do not have the, I guess, the characteristics of a good husband. What consequences do they face other than just still being praised compared to a woman who has all these qualities and still get treated unfair or poorly by a man in the top 20?
I don't
what
understand what I don't.
what's
Okay, make it simple. Make it
I guess
simple.
what I'm trying to ask is, there's situations where men who are in the top 20 still end up divorcing a woman they got married to,
So,
and or in some cases the woman is the person doing the
ma'am,
divorcing
make it
because
simple.
the man.
Ma'am. Take a breath.
Okay.
Make it simple.
Okay. What I'm asking is, what about men who are in the top 20 yet do not have husband qualities other than the money? Do you get
So,
what I'm trying to ask?
no, what it sounds like you're trying to ask is what about the high value men who aren't good either? Sound like another way of whataboutism.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm trying to ask, because
You're
it seems
22.
like,
You're
okay, oh
22. You're 22.
yeah,
Why are you worried
yeah,
about? Why are you worried about that?
because I do want to get married super early, and I've talked to a lot of men that I feel like are high value, but at the same time I feel like they really do not know how to be a husband. They just know they have money a lot of money, and that's all they know, really. And I don't see the society judging them for not having the qualities a man should have as a
Well, let's start.
husband.
Let's start off number
But
one.
I
Hold
see a
on.
lot of
Hold on. Hold on. Hold
women
on.
being
Hold on.
bad.
Hold on. Hold on. You're talking too much. You need to listen.
Okay.
First of all, a man can be have high value, but not be a high value man. And guess what? He may just decide to be a bachelor for the rest of his life. He can choose to do that. And how should he be judged?
But in some cases, if
No, I don't
like
want
let's
to. I
say
don't want to
a
hear about it.
rich,
In some cases, man, what you're basically saying is it's not fair.
yeah, well, yeah.
So freaking what? The world lives in double standards, and the problem with you ladies is you like the double standards that benefit you, and the ones that go against you, you want change. Well, too bad. A man has a longer window. And a man can choose to, if he chooses to make himself a top earner and doesn't want to get married and wants to be an eligible bachelor and Leonardo DiCaprio or Jamie Foxx his way around the world, guess what? He can.
Okay, but don't you think that's what's fueling the toxic femininity we see today? Is
No,
men
I don't.
having that
No,
and
no,
women
I
not
don't. No,
having it?
I don't. Because most women don't even qualify for a man like that. You shouldn't have an opinion on a man like that if you ain't in his level at his level. If you're an average woman, what do you got? What the nerve of you to talk about a man like Jamie Foxx and Leonardo DiCaprio? And you're an average woman. He wouldn't pick you even if he was trying to get married. You don't rank for this guy. Ain't none of your business what those men do. Just like if you are an average man talking about what Rihanna does. What the nerve you talk about Rihanna? You ain't on her level. See, but that's a problem. Too many average ass women trying to talk about men who they don't qualify for and trying to make men up there be the reason why they aren't where they are. Toxic femininity is the problem, not toxic masculinity. Ain't shit toxic about being a man deciding that I don't want to get married. Married ain't worth it, especially with the way a lot of women move these days. What women are really bringing any value to these men's table? Look what Dr. Dre is dealing with. A lot of these other men. Why should these men want to do this kind of stuff? And at 22, more importantly, why is all this garbage in your head? You're 22. Don't you have more positive things to be focusing on? No, see, it gives you something to talk about and something to blame. Because you said high value men. Are you ready to be a wife right now?
Yeah, I
Are you
actually
are
am,
you
but
qualified? Are you married?
no,
Okay. Are you qualified to be a wife right now?
I think so.
Okay. Uh, and the men you're dating towards marriage?
Yeah,
What makes these men high value? Because you said you've dated
I
high.
guess
What makes these men high value?
I'm guessing their societal value. Like he had like a really stable job. He earned like a lot of money, and I guess I mean, and that's your
No, no. I have very specific
definition of
parameters.
high value.
I have very specific
But
parameters for
his
being high value.
character was just
Excuse
garbage,
me.
is what I'm
Excuse
trying
me.
to say.
Excuse me.
And no one
Oh,
is
you over
talking
here.
about
What are you
that,
doing? Can you not hear?
huh?
Can you not hear me?
I can hear you.
His character was garbage. Okay. I have very specific parameters for what I consider to be a high value man. It's not just money. Were you raised with mom and dad?
Yeah,
Is your father or your mother and father still married?
yeah.
Okay. Is your father helping you vet these men that you date?
Not entirely.
No. So so basically you're choosing these men.
For the most part.
Okay. That's part of the problem. I don't think you ladies know how to choose effectively. But that's a whole nother kettle. That's a whole nother issue. I'm trying to get you to understand one thing, because I'm getting feminist, womanist kind of vibes, and that you know equality, partnership kind of thing. Do you want to be a wife or
That's
do you want
really
to be a
not.
partner?
I want to be a wife. I mean, I
Okay.
grew up
Okay.
in like the traditional home where, I
Okay.
mean, my mom, she had a job.
Okay.
She earned a good amount of money, but she was
Okay.
still like,
Okay.
submissive.
Would you say your attitude on men is positive or negative?
My my my. Sorry, what?
Your mindset, your attitude, your thought
Towards
process
men?
towards men when it comes to relationships, marriage, and dating is positive or negative?
I would say it varies by
No,
like
it's not. It's
what
not berries.
the
It's
person.
okay. It's either on the dark side of. Let's see. This ultimately, man. You came in here with a whataboutism question, and at 22, I'm always fascinated how some of you young ladies are so jaded. When life should be pretty damn happy, you're worried about stuff that has out that
I
has
mean, my
nothing.
mom got married at 19. So I don't think I'm too young to get married,
I didn't
is
say
what
you
I'm
were too
trying to
young to get
say.
married. I'm talking about you're worried about all high value men and why men do such and so forth. You should be worried about the men you deal with and how you pick. And if you're picking the men, ultimately, ma'am, guess what? We pick what we're a reflection of. So this is why I don't do that. Well, what about the men thing? That's a very telling question. Many times women always want to say, "What about the men?" But what about you? Are you are you really ready to be somebody's wife right now?
I think I am.
Okay. You got a cookbook?
I don't have a
I
cookbook, but
don't
I
need a
have like
cookbook.
How many kids you got? How many kids do you want?
over 50 recipes up on my head. So,
Okay. How many kids do you want?
how many keys do I want?
Hmm.
3.
Hmm. And how are you being found by men who are marriage minded? Boom, boom,
Hmm.
boom. There you go. That's why
I
you don't.
guess
That's why you're
like
not finding the right kind of men.
I
Because
guess
you're
I guess
no,
like
that's where
the
you're not
attraction is
finding the right
first
kind
of
of
all
men because
physical.
you're in charge of this yourself. Boom, boom, boom. You're in charge of it yourself. 22, you don't know how to pick a man. You pick a man based on things that don't work. You don't know what to do. Now if you're ready to be married and all the things you
No,
say, I know what I'm
mostly
talking. I know what I'm talking about. Thank you. And lastly, you can't overtalk me there. Hold on. I do have a question though. You have to unmute yourself. I got a serious question. Ready?
yeah.
Very serious question. If you
Yeah.
seriously want to be a wife, why do you have a nose ring?
What's wrong with the nose ring?
What's right with the nose ring for a woman that wants to be a wife? It doesn't say wife,
I
man.
just
It doesn't say wife. That's what's wrong with it. It doesn't say wife. It says fun girl, good time. There's nothing that did your father say, yes, dear, if you want to get married, go get a nose ring. That'll attract marriage minded men. Or is it just something you like and wanted to do?
it's just something I liked and wanted to
Okay, well,
do.
let me tell you
There was
something.
no
Let me tell you something. It sends the wrong it sends the wrong signals to men. It sends the wrong signals to men. And that can't be the first time you've heard that. Is it? Yes or
this is
no?
only the second time. Yeah, no.
Well, okay, well, what kind of signal you okay. Everything that we put on our bodies sends some sort of signals. Would you agree?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so let's start with the obvious things. Okay,
Hmm.
your hair. What signal does that send to men?
Not sure. It's just I
Okay.
don't know about the signal sense to men. I
Well,
know what it like.
but do you think it's important to know if you want a certain outcome from the opposite sex? Do you think it's important to know what signals you're sending to them? Because men know that if we want women, we have to send certain kind of signals. Because you can't just
Hmm.
do what you want to and attract the kind of woman you want. You got to send the right signals. So I'm going to help you from an image consultant standpoint. Image matters. Is that your natural hair?
No.
All right. How long is your natural hair?
So it's like an afro, so I don't really measure the length.
Okay. The,
So I'm just gonna
your
say it's like
hair
if
on
I
your is
pull
that
it
a
down,
wig? Is that a wig or is it like extensions? What?
this is a wig.
Okay. That hair does not look like the hair that grows out of your head. Okay.
I
So
suppose.
no, there's no I suppose, man. Hair does not look like that. Don't do that with me because it's gonna go badly.
Okay.
If I was sitting here with a blonde straight hair, I would be sending a different message. If I was sitting here with blue contacts on,
Yeah.
so how do you think men perceive black women with long flowing hair that we know don't grow out of your head? And then the nose ring. And you're asking about men. Well, just like men are responsible, you're responsible too. So if no one's told you, young lady, be yourself. Because what I'm seeing is when I see women with this long hair that I know don't grow out of your head, like it or not, it kind of shows me a woman who doesn't necessarily love herself as much as she should. Because we men have said it countless times. We don't like your weaves, your wigs, and your extensions. Black men have said that countless times. And I know women have heard it, but you continue to do it. Men don't like women with piercings and tattoos and all the other kind of stuff. That does not look like a mother or a wife. It looks like a girl you have sex with and get rid of. So you can decide to make it be whatever you want to, and you ladies can rebel and say, "Well, I should be able to wear what I want to, not be judged." And I can say whatever you want to, but men are who we are, just like you're who you are. So I'm gonna say this again too. Young women, young black women, do yourself a favor. Take off all these wigs and weaves. It really makes you look. Black men don't care for it. You really don't. And I'm saying it as politely as possible. Most black men think exceptionally negative about it because we're sitting there looking at you with somebody else's hair on their head, and you even have something like, why? If I want hair like that, I'll just go get the woman whose hair that grow out of. Why? Leave the wigs off. And these bull rings in y'all's nose, you look like women that somebody just supposed to have sex with in the back of a truck and then leave her at the next stop. I saw you don't want to be on camera. Okay. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Mr. Samuels?
Yeah, I hear you. Just a second. So maybe by me saying it that harshly, I hope somebody thinks, damn, I don't want to be thought of like that because it does nothing for you. A pierced septum does nothing for you. Go ahead. How are you?
I'm well, Mr. Samuels. How are you?
Good. How old are you?
I'm 30.
All right. What do we got? What are we talking about?
We were talking about the fact that I think it's hard for women to admit to themselves that they're average,
Okay.
and to also know that that there's nothing wrong with average.
Why is it hard?
There's nothing.
Why is it hard to admit? Uh, why do you think it would be hard to admit that?
Um, I think it's hard for us to admit that, and I say us only because I'm also a woman, because we want to think that we are all one of a kind,
Mm-hmm.
that we are all extraordinary, and that we all have something that another woman doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and if that were the case, then no one would be extraordinary if everybody was.
Right. Right. And I'm trying to
um,
understand where that came from. I mean, that everybody's special, that nobody's special. Um,
exactly.
I don't know.
There,
Go ahead.
the society that we live in now, unfortunately, pushes that narrative that everyone can be a millionaire at
Mm-hmm.
24, that
Mm-hmm.
everyone can have a Gucci, that everyone can drive,
Mm-hmm.
sports car and things like that. And that's just not reality. That doesn't mean that your quality of life is going to be any less, or that you're going to be unhappy. But I think people need to realize that the process is what we need to fall in love with, not the end goal. You can have a goal to be a millionaire, but let's be honest, there's not a lot of people that are going to become millionaires. So you have to fall in love with the process of it. And that is directly related to women who want a certain lifestyle.
You
There's,
know,
it's just,
I'm thinking
Mhm.
of the amount of women I've talked to who would just think that what you're saying is the worst thing ever. It's like, no, we can have it all, and I'm like, we don't even come from a culture like that. We don't come from all this that you got to have all this stuff. And then the
exactly.
very women you're talking about, they earn less than $40,000 a year and know they can't afford this stuff, but then think that, well, I hear what you're saying, and even though it makes sense, uh, I can beat the odds because I deserve it. People, this is part of the problem with this participation trophy and eighth place trophies, and part of the issue when you get when you give tell everybody's special. Um, yeah, that's a problem. So,
I
how,
actually
go ahead.
have,
Go ahead.
oh, I was going to say, I actually typically have girlfriends that are older than me.
Mm-hmm.
And it came to a point where I just realized that we just were not in sync with our mindsets. And I began to look around at my girlfriends, and, you know, between doing a lot of reading and
Mm-hmm.
self reflection and listening to your channel and things like that, I realized that um, I was going to have to make a lot of drastic changes in my life because I am single,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't want to be single in the next 2 to 3 years.
And you said
I, I want to.
you had a lot of single girlfriends, and you weren't in sync. What do you mean? Give me some. Uh, what kind of things are you talking about?
For example, the way that we carried ourselves, um, our expectations of men. I have a couple of girlfriends who, if we go out and there's a gentleman who wants to talk to her, then she
Mm-hmm.
expects for him to pay for the entire table. And it would make me feel terrible. Or, there's some other girlfriends who like kind of like the thug sort of guys, and it just
Mm-hmm.
wasn't me. And I was trying to figure out um, how to separate myself from that, and also kind of move in my own space, because I'm a very soft and demure sort of woman.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started just beginning to see these huge glaring red flags. It was almost like the scales were removed from my eyes, and I saw that even though the girlfriends that I have had around me in the past were nice,
Mm-hmm.
I saw all of a sudden, oh, I see why you're single, and I don't want to be around that, and I don't
Hold
want to
on, hold
be
on,
you one
hold on,
day.
hold on, hold on, Kate. Let me mute you just a second, guys. I'm going to show you guys, in my opinion, the one of the byproducts or the end goals of eighth place trophies, and everyone is being a special snowflake. This may be a little hard to, but you want to check this out. These are the majorettes. When I was in the band at all black school, the drum major, the majorettes was some of the finest women on campus. They were finer than the cheerleaders. See, it went flag girls, cheerleaders, majorettes. And my girlfriend was a majorette and a cheerleader. So you know she was hella fine. Shout out to you. And I want you to look at Arizona, as this Alabama State, I think it is. This is a black college. These are young college educated college women at college age. And these are the majorettes. Look at and I want you to listen to everybody. Yeah, girl, yeah. What are those? What? And we cheer this stuff on. Look at all this hair. Ma'am, just like I told you, this hair all down your back. I'm like, Rasputia on Norbit was supposed to be a joke.
I got beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, lamb, rams, hogs, dogs, chicken, turkeys, rabbits, you name it!
So when I talk about a healthy weight, now understand, I know why women get mad at me because it's like, what are you talking about? A dress size 4, 6? Man, this is that 16, 18 life. Have you seen one? Now this is the creme de la creme. This is what black men are going to college for and working them long hours for and sacrificing for. And you can't tell them they ain't fine. You can't tell you can't tell them nothing. Now see, this is what it should be. What the French toast, man? We got to stop celebrating this stuff, man. We got to stop acting like, oh, they look nice. No. Bring back the collarbones. Collarbones. Collarbones, people. Collarbones. I know I'm going to get a hate mail for this one, but I don't care. I'd rather get hate mail and people be like, dang, we do. I mean, this is crazy. This is crazy. We sit about, oh, girl, look at you. Shirley and them. Yeah, go Shirley. Now, I wanted to show the difference. I want to show something here, just so I'm a fair arbiter, right? See? It can be done. It can be done. You just got to prioritize. Where is that? Oh, crap. Hold on. Man, I cannot believe this. When I first saw this, I was like, are you kidding me? This is what we're celebrating in college? This is what we're doing? This cannot be. It cannot be. This cannot be the way. Remember that on Braveheart? This cannot be the way. I don't want to lose heart. This cannot be the way. You said the nobles would not support him, and to win this battle, we must have an allegiance with the nobles. Yeah, I'm a geek. I'm a nerd like that. This cannot be the way. This cannot be the way. This can be the way. This can be the way. This cannot be the way. This can be the way. See, even with these women, this ain't their hair. This ain't their hair either. But I'll take this and be able to take the hair out versus hair done by Show Nuff. Who's the meanest? Show Nuff. Who's the baddest? Show Nuff. Who's the coldest mofo low down all around this town? Show Nuff. Image consultant by Show Nuff. Where's Bruce Lee when you need him? Holy crap. I will take this all day over Show Nuff crew. Show Nuff and a world-class wrecking crew. God damn. I know people gonna hate me, but we gotta stop this, people. One more time for Show Nuff and Shirley.
I got beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, lamb, rams, hogs, dogs, chicken, turkeys, rabbits. You name it!
Stop it. Stop it. No, I'm not going to stop. All right. I'm going to be done. I'm not going to mess with them. I'm sorry. They put it, that's public. I didn't go looking for that. That's public. So French toast that. Hello, Cameron. How are you?
Hello, Mr. Samuels. I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. Have you called in before?
I haven't. No.
Okay. So what you got for me? What do we talk about? More or less, what's going on here?
I would like to say that I agree with you on like a lot of things. First of all, I'm 23 years old.
Okay.
But I realized that I was cute enough to have like mess around with, but I was never like good enough for like the guy I was.
The guy you wanted?
Yeah, how I was interested in. I was never good enough in that way because, probably because of my looks or like how not as refined as the woman that he was interested in was. Okay. So I just wanted to say that like I do agree with you that looks and
here's how you're 23.
I am.
Okay, so are you judging these men based upon a college experience?
No, I think the men that I'm interested in tend to be older.
Okay.
So they are educated, and
what state do you live in?
Currently I live in California, but I used to live in Texas.
Northern California or Southern California?
Southern California.
Oh yeah, competition's tough. Competition is tough in Southern California.
It is.
But I mean, did you go to college?
I'm currently attending college.
All right. So, look, I get it that women all want hypergamy. I mean, hypergamy is on steroids with women today. But a middle class life is not a bad life. I mean, did you come from people with your family? Was your family rich, wealthy, or well off?
My dad's in oil.
Mm-hmm. Is he in oil? Is he an engineer, or when he's in oil, what does that mean?
He's in oil, as in he worked his way up from the bottom. So he's a laborer. He has his GED, but he's not college educated.
So he's like a roughneck or something like that?
He works with the engineers now, but he had.
Okay, so is he in the field? Or is he in the field? Or is he in refineries?
In the office. So he works in offshores. So I guess
Okay.
in the
Okay.
refinements.
So
I'm not.
so the oil comes from the field, and then it either goes to a refinement process. But your father works he's not on the wells. He's not doing that kind of stuff. He's in the labs and the office, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so that's more like an engineering assistant kind of thing, which is
Right.
very possible. But still, that puts you in middle class, upper middle class, but middle class. You're still looking at in California, $70,000 to $90,000 a year. Uh, but you're capped. You can't become a VP.
Right.
So if you had but your lifestyle growing up, did you guys live in a suburban home? Did you live in apartments? What was
Suburban
your
home.
Okay?
Well, so my dad that's my stepdad, and my
Mm,
parents are divorced, but
mm,
my Asian dad, I call him my Asian dad. He's an electrical engineer.
mm.
And when my mom married my stepdad, we moved into his 5-bedroom house. He's never had any other kids, never was married.
Electrical engineer
Um,
with no
my
kids.
Asian dad, yes.
Well,
No, my Asian dad,
he
who
has children or no? Does he have children or no?
my stepdad doesn't have any children.
Is that the Asian dad?
And my white dad,
Okay. Who's the engineer? The white guy or the Asian guy?
Asian guy.
Okay. Well, it's middle class. All this is middle class. All of
Right.
this is middle class. Coming from the oil and gas engineering, it's all middle class. This is where the bulk of the marriages and the bulk of what made this country great was right here. And men in this area are supposed to look better than their women. You're supposed to go to engineering school and get a hot wife, or at least a cute, pretty, or beautiful wife. You're not supposed to go be an engineer and get an average wife. You're supposed to be the guy who's working offshore and get an average wife. The guys who are working onshore, the less dangerous jobs, are supposed to get a better looking wife. That's how that works. So
Right.
if if you're dealing with men around your father's income, I mean that makes sense. But if you're trying to get guys who are like the executives flying around, well, you're gonna have a lot of competition for that because
Okay.
it's not just about looks. It's also about culture. And people and me and up the chain, men tend to get very race loyal and very homogeneous. So you'll see a lot of non-black men. You'll see a lot of white men who will date Asian women, but when they get married, they do just like Tom Brady, just like Ben Affleck. They go get a white woman. Then they go make their white kids, and then they go have the fun with their preference. Do you not date Asian? Do you date Asian men?
I do, yeah.
What's your preference?
Recently it's been white guys.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
the two group, white men, Asian women, the largest group of interracial marriage. So, but still, average white guy. That's about what it is. An average white guy, and he's probably be expected to get an above average looking Asian woman, or else he just go get an average Asian woman. So anyway, but Southern California is tough, man. So you better, 23 years old, you better put on your track shoes and start throwing elbows because Becky's coming after the same guy you want. And yeah, they're not giving their men up easily. So more white women are starting to fight Asian women for white men because y'all have been Asian women have been taking a chunk out of white women lately, and they got their sights set on y'all. So blood sport, enjoy. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
California. I'm not gonna lie. California, I feel sorry for women in in Southern California and in New York City. Southern California, everywhere you turn in Southern California, whatever you like is there. And it's different than Miami because Miami, people in Miami on that hustle kind of grind. But then New York City, it's the first place I ever lived where whatever you like is something on every block. So I would say in those places, it'd be better to pick character over income because if loyalty and if fidelity and loyalty is high up for you, Southern California, New York City, good luck with that. You better pick character first. You may have to import your many people, many women in Southern California and New York City import relationships because there's just too much temptation in those areas. But all right, Jeezy got in one. Yes, Jeezy. First he gonna date Brenda, then he gonna date Keisha. So anyway, all right. So that was good. That was great. Ladies, date what you rate. Give yourself a rating. I would ask yourself, I would tell you ladies, if you have good guy friends, ask them where you rank. Now, if you're see, because like attractive women, women who have traditional classical beauty, eights, nines, and tens, even adjustable sixes, they pretty much know where they rank. It's the average woman that doesn't know where she ranks. If you weren't, but look at your life and look at the kind of men who tried to lock you down. Take the top 50% of those men and the men who tried to make you their girlfriend in public, full benefits. That's where you rank. If you don't come from a list of starting quarterbacks and guys on going full scholarship to Harvard kind of stuff, hey man, it is what it is. Anyway, this has been cool. Let me see. What do we want to do overtime? It's late night. Let me see. Let me look at something real quick to see if we want to do overtime. Who wants to do overtime? In overtime, we just open it up for a little bit more of everything. Do we want to do overtime? If we want to do overtime, let me see. Have we hit the overtime marker? All right. Let's see. Bring this up. Do we want to do overtime? Yeah, he said Filipino. Yeah, Filipino women are a problem for some of y'all, man. Shout out to Xera. Cool. Overtime. Darn, man. It's trying to catch up. Let me do this real quick. Let me slow down the chat room because the chat room is going like a million miles an hour. Let me do this real quick. Let's do overtime real quick. I think we'll do overtime. We're gonna need 1, 2, 3, 4. We're gonna need at least 15 more people to drop something in. If we're gonna do overtime, man, I need to get another drink. If we're gonna do overtime, I need to get another drink. Oh, yes, let's talk about it. Apparently, I've been shouted out on the latest album on the latest album. Huh. Okay. I see you. Let's do it. Don't get mad at me. I didn't make it that way. See, gentlemen, I'm going to tell you that the world was okay telling you you were a scrub and telling you that you work at UPS and you beneath her. But just the fact that one man has one channel for a year has these women upset. Upset. So let's give them something to talk about, shall we? Let's give them something to cry about, shall we? Since you want to talk shit about me, okay, let's do it. Let us do it. Summer is over. Winter is coming.
Winter is coming.
You're goddamn right. You picked the right one. I'm gonna tell you something too. And you know why this thing is pissing so many women off? I'm gonna give you a preview of something I've been working on. Just like in the NFL, why don't we have any good black heavyweights in boxing anymore? Well, there's a school of thought that says all the good black heavyweights are playing linebacker in the NFL. Where are all the adjustable six, pretty beautiful or gorgeous women that should be married to the black business class? They're all on IG models, such and so forth. You got all these women who would, in other cultures, they'd be chasing the businessmen, the politicians, and such and so forth. We got ours chasing athletes, entertainers, and musicians. No hate to those guys, but that's what it is. So what ends up happening? When you get to be on as an IG model or a video vixen or something like that, what do? They get with the hottest rappers. They get with the Kanyes and the Jay-Z's and the Drakes and such and so forth. But what happens? They make a splash on the scene and they get up here. But do they ever get a man above the highest man? Every man that they get goes down. They go from Kanye and Drake and Jay-Z to the next tier of rappers. Not at that level, but they still own, And then they go from that level to down here. But it's always down. And then they go to, the next dude down here. And that's the dude they have the baby with. The dude is like 30 years old, still trying to take it from that one guest verse he did on that one song, right? They have babies with that dude. And then that dude cheats on them and gets them pregnant and all this other kind of stuff. And then when it's all said and done, they've gone from all these millionaire rappers and athletes and entertainers and everything else to this dude. Then you know what they do? They do this. Hey, big head. Hey, big head is when they start looking towards look, he's not a millionaire, but he also has a standard 8-to-5 job and a 401k. And he doesn't go to Dubai and this and that, but he does make $300,000 a year, $400,000. He's not living that industry life. He's living that high value life. But then I don't have to worry about the next IG model, Tina, trying to holler at him. And I would be an upgrade for him, even though he's a downgrade. If you don't think these high value men know that all these women who have been dealing with these millionaire ballers and entertainers got their eyes set on these dudes, and I got news for you: high value men they're not emergency exits. They're not backup plans because you decide to have babies with dudes who got kids all over the world. These men are not foolish. They really think it's that way. They're like, hey, well, hell, I'll date this man and that man and this man and that man, and then I'll go marry a guy who's an attorney. I'll get an account. I'll get this guy. I'll get a VP of marketing, and you'll think that, ladies, these men have the internet too. I've spoken to so many women who think their ultimate bailout plan is, it's all about when they get to the wall, like between 28 to 32. They got a baby in tow, 28 to 32, and they got their eye on, I'll just get me a 45-year-old attorney. He's just going to hit the draws a few times and get the fuck on. No. These men are not the cleanup men. So, let me break the news to you, ladies. Winter is here.
Winter is coming.
Winter is here. And you're not going to bring babies from industry dudes into the business sector and think somebody's going to take you to the country club and wipe you up on, hi. Yeah, you remember that one girl that was on that one video? Yes, now she's my wife, right? No. And then when these women realize that they misplayed their youth and they've made the ultimate miscalculation by having a kid also. See, the women that can do that are like Eve. Eve did it. Eve went from rough riding to suburban. I think even Megan Good even Megan Good did it, but word is on the street that she's maybe back out here. But see, the only way you could really make that transition from that Hollywood industry life into the business sector where most of you women should have been in the first place if we had a culture that worked, you can't come over here with kids or a bunch of industry baggage. Y'all laughing because y'all know I'm right. You know your godfather knows. If you don't think your godfather knows, you don't think I got email after message from yes, I'm vice president of mergers and acquisitions and blah blah blah. And next thing you know, I got a hey big head on my LinkedIn from blue check IG model. Yeah, yeah, because if you were up here and you didn't cash out up here and you shouldn't have. And here's the thing: if my program, and we had been talking about this years ago, a lot of these women would have at least had a choice. Why are you running in behind these NFL, NBA athlete, this, that? Ain't but a few of those dudes. Pretty, beautiful, or gorgeous women of all other races tend to go to the business group of men. But in our community, because those men, the business group, are boring, you're square and this and that. Those are the very men that other women prize because they don't have an abundance of that other kind of stuff. So now, what do you think? You're going to come to these Will Smith, lame kind of business guys? Guys, you know I'm telling the truth. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. How many times have you seen, like, wait a minute, wasn't that the old video vixen? Now she's trying to, man, please, tell you something. Your godfather, no. Back in the day, because back in the day when I would see women who were dancers or professional escorts or whatever, funny as hell. 3-4 years later, they suburban housewives. I got no problem with that. But if you want to do this, ladies, you can't come in with no kids. If you come in with a kid, you screwed yourself. Also, ladies, if you want to get with a high value man,
Recording in progress.
your godfather's going to give you some insider information. Ladies, if you want to get with a high value man and you don't know how, one of the best things you can do is decide to become a high value sugar baby. It is the best. Think of it this way. It's like an internship program, for high value men. Let me explain. You went to college, you got your degree in marketing, and you're 26, you're 24 to 28. Actually, you're 24 to 29, and you don't want to get back out here in the club and be trying to fight these young girls because you've aged out, and you've decided, you know what? I don't need $1 million. $250 will do. But I've never dated a guy at this level who has to get up and go to work. The way you practice, become a sugar baby for a season. Seasonal sugar baby. Are you an IG model? Are you a fit girl or something like that? The perfect women for seasonal sugar babies. Massage therapists, actors, actresses, creatives, women who are in marketing. Yeah. You can either do that, because you can't be man, I'm dropping too much game right now. Seasonal sugar baby. That's right. You got to get on camera. Seasonal sugar baby. Can you imagine, I went to the seasonal sugar baby route, and I sugared for 1 year, and I found me a dentist. I found me a cardiologist. Oh, yeah. It's funny because it's true. Seasonal sugar baby. And what you need to practice in this, maybe I should do that. The Godfather, Seasonal Sugar Baby University. Learn valuable skills like the girlfriend experience. Learn how to be a feminine asset for a lifetime to a high value man. Oh my God, I'm going to hell. Seasonal sugar babies. Let's see. Massage therapist. Like I said, marketing is great. Marketing, accounting, any of those things, because you can actually do it. You could actually do a job for the guy too. But and if you want to get an older man with more money, if you are a personal trainer, if you're actually like, if you couldn't break and make your IG or Facebook, your IG or your YouTube fitness page pop, but you're still in great shape, there we go. Overtime. Seasonal, it's like a sugar baby contract. You better believe it. I'm reopening my Seeking Arrangements account right now. So if you are seeking arrangements and you see Kevin Samuels, that's me. Ain't no shame in my game. I'm opening my Seeking Arrangements account and be like, but please, if you ain't bona fide, fine, don't even waste your time. I was on Seeking Arrangements the other day and I was like, God, dog, you got a 40-year-old woman out there. I was like, are you serious? No, man. Because TikTok is like a great source of information. So many of these women talk about, I've struggled for so many years. Now I should be on a yacht. No. Yachts are for millionaires. You don't have yacht looks. You don't even have speedboat looks. You've got whitewater. You got SeaWorld looks. A yacht. Do you know what it takes to be a yacht girl? Now, in order to be a seasonal sugar baby, now only do it for one season. Brittany, seasonal sugar baby. You go do your internship with a high value man, and if you become a sugar baby, you get anywhere from $2,000 to as much as $5,000 a month as an allowance. Do a 3-month, 6-month, year contract. $3,000 is a fair amount. But see, the funny thing is, you start seeing average ass women asking for $10,000 contracts. She's like, you know what you got to do for $10,000? Please, $10,000. You got to be a po babies. It's so funny. O'Shea would love to make videos on this. I'm looking for a mature gentleman, a generous gentleman, to be a mentor. Yeah. So that's right. No shame in the Godfather's game at all. Y'all see you imagine how crazy that would be? Come on, overtime is there. Big Henny busted up with, hey, here's Sugar Baby 1, 2, 3. Mm-hmm. And then be like, come on, you need to come on the show. No, they can't come on the show. No. Say it for us all.
She belongs to the streets.
Paper origami boats. All right, all kidding aside, how many of you guys have been around long enough to remember back in the day when I said that we need to be able to make effing university because so many dudes need to learn how to. Because today, I'm not going to lie, the average woman dating is more experienced than the average guy. Well, matchmaking doesn't work in the Black community like it works in other communities. Black women have shown that they don't value matchmaking. They think high value men should be for free. Okay, granted. Well, you have to be an asset to these guys. So I bet you that could work. Who put okay. Now, here's the thing. I'm gonna tell you something. Y'all need to stop this bull crap. I don't like those jokes. Right? Perk 30 in my Red Bull. Okay, we're gonna give you a little timeout for that one. And I still no dark liquor. See, what we need to understand in the black community is relationships. Where'd you get the marriage? Really, as the middle class idea with monogamy is a new thing. Marriage used to be the way warring nations or tribes or people made peace. Marriage is the way families join together. I've got sons, you've got daughters. I'll marry my sons to your daughters. I'm a farmer. You have livestock. Marriage was a practical thing. We are not that far off from our hunter-gatherer evolutionary biology. And I'm going to tell you, I prefer relationships at the top 20% level because they are far more structured. They make much more sense. Love is business and business is love. You can have both. But see, the thing is, average people, we were taught that we used to fall in love in this romantic thing and there's not enough leverage on either side. That's what I'm saying. Like it or not, you see a lot of these relationships with age gaps. So you got older men with younger women. That's a more natural thing than you see people getting together for short term and breaking up. I would say this too. Men, okay, guys, I'm going to open it up, guys. You can, let me see if we reached the mark to where guys can call in yet. We're almost there. We're almost there to where guys can call in. You know what the problem with this whole sugaring and internships and mentors, all these are pay for play. Black community got a real problem with this. I could care less though. I'm a pragmatist. I'm very pragmatic. I could care less. You don't have to like it. It's number one. Number two, a lot of black men, man, we're too romantic about relationships. You're romantic. I think that's one of the downsides of being raised by our mothers. We become so romantic when it comes to relationships that y'all talk this alpha male RP stuff, but a lot of you guys be in your bed on your stomach reading Harlequin romances like a bunch of bitches. You can talk all that shit all you want to, but all I got to do to break your whole flow is put the chick that is built the way you like, your kind of chick, and let her show you some interest. Here comes the blue pill under yourself. All you just like that. See, look at this here. Prostitute, let me go ahead and help you out, man. Go ahead and time you out. This is grown-up stuff over here. Grown-up stuff over here. Go ahead and grow you up over here. You can use that called prostitution. Dude, marriage can be considered to be legal prostitution. Grow your ass up. See, that's what I tell you. When you hear men talking about prostitution and all this other stuff, the guys who tend to say that are guys who tend to be romantic or guys who still need to get their weight up on their finances. But see, in our community, you look at it as shaming, and in other communities, they look at it as business. That's your mama coming out of you. It's prostitution. That's your mama. What do they call what is tricking called in non-black communities? Still ain't got that word because they don't have a word for it. They don't have a word for it in non-black communities. You tricking. Man, men of value pay women to stay on program and to stay. If you don't think that the women you deal with are going to have a cost, if you haven't figured in the cost of a woman's going to have, if she's going to make you any money at all, meaning her presence in your life increases your productivity or whatever. If you haven't done the math on a woman, stop playing. Stop playing. This is why I say far too many men don't have a position for a woman. And then you get mad when she's in your life and you don't know what she's there for outside the bedroom. Yeah, you can see a lot of guys upset, like, oh man, it's prostitution. In there reading on their stomach, writing love letters, listening to this emo rap shit. If you don't put XX Tentacion shit down, she don't love me, my baby, popping another perk. You little emo ass bitches. That's your generation, man. Crying and rap, tattooing your face up. Oh man, my generation had this shit too. It was called Pretty Brown Eyes. It was called Baby Face. If you don't think my generation had emo rap, it was called, what was emo rap in my generation called? I'll pay your rent. I'll buy your clothes. What was that song? If you don't think my generation had emo rap, soon as I get home from work, if you don't think my generation had emo ass rap, and Babyface, I used to catch hell for Babyface. Because people like, you look like Babyface. Hoven. Call him Hoven face. God, the Babyface jokes I've had to endure in my lifetime. I used to have to endure so many goddamn jokes behind Babyface. Hoven face. Here's Babyface. What kind of man would I be to leave you standing in the cold? Must have been a silly one to sacrifice a pot of gold. You're the kind of woman that needs a man that's always there. It's not that you require a lot. You just need some tender love and care on your stomach, right in your goddamn notebook. I give good love. I'll buy your clothes. I'll cook your dinner too as soon as I'll get home from work. I'll pay your rent, your faithful love as soon as I get home from work. As soon as I get home from work, girl, I'll treat you right. I'll never lie for all it's worth. I'll give you good love. This is the birth of that Percocet emo ass shit. And you wonder why women are so crazy. And we sitting there 19 years old with the damn, sitting in there 19 to 21 years old with the damn blue light on, making love. Niggas is broke as shit. Making love to Keith Washington. Can't got to decide to pay the light bill or the phone bill. Talk about as soon as I get home from work. Nigga, you broke. It doesn't make sense that you should have a broken heart. If I were the only one, I'd never let you fall apart. You're the kind of woman that needs a man with lots of cash to stake up a stack of major credit cards. And with me, you don't have to ask. And we wonder why our women is crazy. We was in there. We weren't in there as fucking. We was making love, looking at each other, kissing and shit, candles on, baby oil. And they believe this shit. Look at this shit. I give good love. I buy your clothes, cook your dinner too. As soon as I get home from work, I'll pay your rent. I'll pay your rent. You're a faithful lover. I'll never ever do you wrong. As soon as I get home from work, girl, I'll treat you right. Girl, I'll never lie. I'll never mess around. As soon as I get home from work, I'm coming straight home to you, baby. Yes, girl. Girl, I'll be around, never let you down for all it's worth, all it's worth. I give good love. Giving. Yeah, man. Yeah, shit. Now, see? That's why your mama and them is messed up. Because they mama said, girl, go get your education. Go and get your education. Go on to school, get your PhD.
I'm a PhD.
That's what they mama told them. Then our mamas told us this shit. And we out here listening to Chucky Booker and Keith Washington and Joe and Silk and all this shit. And you got these two young people getting together and we in there trying to, make love. Shit broke as hell. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. No. Relationships ain't never been this. Who can fucking do all that? I'll pay your rent, I'll buy your clothes, cook your dinner too. As soon as I get home from work, gotta have lots of cash, major credit cards, you ain't gotta ask. No, fuck that. It's lies. Lies. Can't nobody do all that. Oh, let me tell you what and see, for every song that came out like that, you ain't had a lot of women singing that song. Let's see, Superwoman. Now, I want you to understand that there was a time where women were talking about the cleanup woman and all this other kind of stuff. Women weren't singing this kind of shit back then. I'm not your superwoman. I'm not the kind of girl you can let down and think that everything's okay. Boy, I'm only human. A girl needs occasional hugs, token of love from you. I'm not your superwoman. See, that's what happened. Karen White and them talk about, I ain't your superwoman, and Babyface in there talking about, I give good love, pretty brown eyes and all this shit. That ain't what it is. If all that comes later on, this is practical. My way works better. Get practical with it. I give good love. I'll cook your dinner too as soon as I get home from work. Bitch, I'm tired. Get home from work and try to do all that shit. I'll get you next week. Oh my God. So they were shitting on men and we were singing love songs to them. Shitting on men. While Babyface was doing this shit, right here in Atlanta, TLC was scrubbing and creeping. They were scrubbing and creeping. Mm-hmm. Whoa, wow, whoa, wow, whoa, wow. Yeah, Babyface and them over there just lying to women, left out setting mansions on fire and shit. I prefer seasonal sugar babies, like Richard Gere said in Pretty Woman, $3,000 for the weekend, and on Sunday you will leave. I'm going to hell, but y'all are going to join me. All right, man, it's 1:30. That was fun. A little overtime. However it works, man, we got to learn how. We must learn how to interact with one another. Ladies, if you want a high value man, or if you want a man to commit to you for a lifetime, you must be a woman of value and always provide the girlfriend experience. If you don't know what the girlfriend experience is, book a session for $59.95. I'll tell you right now. Can you imagine what's gonna happen when they see my profile on Seeking Arrangements? They're like, "Oh, girl, I found Kevin Samuel Seeking Arrangement." Mm-hmm. He said he's gonna be on there. Sure did. Oh my God. I ain't gonna even say it. Oh my God. Can you imagine? What would happen if I popped up in Atlanta with blonde hair, blue eye, white woman? Oh, Jesus Christ. The internet would go ape shit crazy. First off, they'd have to determine, was that really a girl or was it a guy dressed like a girl? You know, because everybody, they just need me to be gay for some reason. I talked about that last night. Oh, yeah, by the way, let's do that real quick. Let's talk about that real quick. Shirley, I got a question for you. Shirley, why do y'all need me to be gay? I asked this on Instagram, but since we're in overtime, why do y'all need me to be gay so much? I mean, it's like so many women just need me to be gay. It would make their whole day. They spend all kind of time looking and trying to secretly find, look, did you see what he said this when he should have said that? He stumbled over this word, he did this, and look at his shoe and the way he had his finger this way. Why do y'all need me to be gay so much? Shirley and you beta males who go ahead and back Shirley up, why is that such a big deal to y'all? They need guys like And the answer is they need it because if I'm gay, that means what I say is because I don't like women, or is it you do like it gives you something else to talk about? No, not really. See, this is the old trope. Back in the babyface days, when women couldn't find men, they had to make black men secretly gay or down low to justify why they sit up on these panels at 50 years old talking about men that they could have got with back in the 90s if they had some sense. See, gentlemen, you'll understand something, that they never pick men that they don't want to be gay, bisexual, or down low. It's always the kind and caliber of men they want and wish they could get, but they can't, so they make them gay. We get it, Shirley. We get it. We get it. Still don't work, though. Don't work, don't work. And could you imagine what would happen if I stepped out and, you know what, I might just do that shit. I might do it. I might just do it. Go get me a blonde hair, blue eye. Yep. Don't be surprised. Can you imagine what it would be all over the shade room, all over everywhere? Oh! Controversial internet influencer, image consultant, full-time black woman hater, spotted with a very attractive blonde, blue-eyed woman. Snuggled up and smoothed up. There would be streams for a week. Hey, Free, I should do this shit, right? Oh my God. Go on the offensive and start trolling her ass. No, you know what it would be, Jonathan? What it would be, they'd be like, oh, no, he just did that. That's his beard. Oh, that's the beard is when a woman does it, right? So if I did it, it would be me hiring a woman to throw everybody off the gay trail. Oh my God, Jonathan, you know what I'm gonna do? Jonathan, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go get me a blonde hair. I don't like blondes, I like brunettes. Brunette, green eyes, brown eyes, something like that. And then pull up in Shops at Buckhead and bust out in the hold on. Oh yeah, fuck with me now. Fuck with me now. Bust out these heels, bust out these right there. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna bust out them shoes right there and make them lose their fucking mind. I'm gonna wear those shoes and be like, oh, he wore, the heel said, the boot said kitten on him. Oh my God, the internet will lose its mind. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna bust out the pink fur coat and everything. Holy shit. Y'all ready? They're gonna be like, oh, they would lose it. They would lose. Do you realize the people who would lose their mind, they would just be like, you know, you don't need to go find skipped over clips and splice together shit that I said and take photos. No, I'm gonna give you everything you want to. So every time you see me stepping around Atlanta in this, it's gonna be an inside joke. Oh my God. Oh, let's do it. Oh my God. Oh. That would be so much fun. Officially, troll season has started. Y'all can say what y'all want to. These some comfortable ass shoes. We so ready for it. ready for it. Oh. Guaranteed content for years. We're going to reverse Grinch their ass. Y'all want to reverse Grinch them? Y'all want to reverse Grinch their ass? I'm going to reverse Grinch them. Be pissing them. I'll be like, I cannot believe it. He took all of our best punchlines. We can't say anything anymore, guys. It's not fair. It's not right. Oh, my, not even cool. It's good to be the king. She's a PhD.
I'm a PhD.
I cannot say what's wrong or right. It's not hard to fool me. Cause I'm addicted to the good life. Yeah. Lead the way. I follow. No need to say where we are heading now, babe. I follow to the edge of it all. To the edge of it all. So tell your good night. Cause I'll buy no matter what. Yeah. Susceptible now. Before the moment flies. Ooh. So tell your good night. Cause I'll buy no matter what. Ooh. Susceptible now. Before the moment flies. It's not a problem. Cause I know what I'm getting into. Yeah. And nothing can stop me. Cause I'm addicted to